In a world swallowed by a tower full of monsters, one hunter stands above them all. The Flame Emperor, the only man alive who can kill a floor boss entirely on his own. And then there's him. A skillless F-class nobody, mocked by everyone, who wants nothing in the world more than to be like his hero. Until the tower, sick of his endless jealousy, finally tosses him an S-class skill of his very own. There's just one cruel catch. To steal his killer's power, he first has to die. But the hero he worshipped hides a monstrous secret, and the instant he learns it, the Flame Emperor kills him to bury it. Except death isn't the end. With his killer's stolen power, he wakes 24 hours in the past, every memory intact. And to erase a legend, he will have to die again, and again, and again. 4,650 times. This is the story of the weakest hunter alive, who turned dying itself into the deadliest weapon in the tower. Let's begin. Breaking news from Babylon. The Black Dragon Guild, confident in their skills, set out to prove what a top guild could do. And once again, their ambitions are crushed by the world's #1 hunter. Once again, the Flame Emperor has cleared the boss entirely single-handedly. Ever since the tower appeared, the reporters gush, "You've been the only person alive to solo kill a floor boss." But the legend himself only scowls. "Why don't you do something about that horrendous nickname of mine first? Flame Emperor?" He sneers. "You might as well just call me Lame Emperor. It's embarrassing as hell." And watching from the crowd, a skillless F-class hunter named Confucius Kim feels only one thing. I envy him. If this were a novel, he thinks, a man like that would be the main character. And me? I wouldn't even rate as a supporting character. I'd be a nameless extra. Any advice for aspiring hunters? A reporter asks the Flame Emperor. Fine, he says. I'll only say this once, so listen carefully. Even if you somehow succeed, don't ever think you stand a chance against me. Because I'll kill you, he says, smiling into the cameras. And the whole world just laughs it off as the cocky charm of a hero. Confucius trudges home alone. If only I had skills like the Flame Emperor, he thinks. Then I wouldn't be crammed into this tiny studio. I wouldn't be mocked and ridiculed for being a worthless F-class. I'm so jealous it's killing me, he whispers to the dark. I just want to succeed on my own, too. Or, he dreams, if I could just have the Flame Emperor's skills, how incredible would that be? And then, impossibly, something materializes before him. A skill card. Appalled by the sheer strength of your jealousy, the tower reads, it is tossing you a skill. And not just any card, he gasps. It's gold. The rarest kind there is. It's an S-class skill, the moment he's waited for his entire life. This skill activates automatically when you are killed by an enemy. You will copy and gain one random skill from your killer. Then the fine print stops his heart cold. Warning. You must die for this skill to activate. What kind of crappy skill is this? He howls, the gift of a lifetime curdling into a curse. The tower appeared out of nowhere, visible from anywhere on Earth. Those with nothing to lose were the first to climb it, each floor a different world packed with monsters. A chosen few were granted skills, and the hunt for the tower's monsters began. So I was handed an S-class skill yesterday, Confucius mutters into his drink, drunk and bitter. But what kind of stupid skill, he slurs, makes you die just to use it? He's too ashamed to even tell the Hunter Association he has it. A worthless skill, for a worthless man. Then, stumbling home, he turns a corner into something he was never meant to see. The Saint Isabel, beloved healer of the tower, face to face with the Flame Emperor himself. That drink you just had, the saint says sweetly. I poisoned it. Basilisk stomach acid, the Flame Emperor answers, unbothered. The very poison you meant to slip into mine. You wanted to clear the tower together, he says. But it turns out you had other plans for me. Tell me, he demands, his voice gone cold. Who ordered you to kill me? Was it the Witch of the Black Dragon? And then, without hesitation, he ends her. Goodbye, Saint Isabel. Confucius freezes in the shadows, his blood turning to ice. Those, he realizes, are the eyes of a murderer. And the saint, he understands with horror, wasn't the first. Just how many people has this hero killed? A sound escapes him, and the Flame Emperor's head turns. He's been seen. Please, let me go, Confucius begs, crawling backward. Please, Flame Emperor. I saw nothing. He sobs. Absolutely nothing, I swear it. Too bad, the killer says quietly, that I'm not stupid enough to believe you. Use your lie detecting skill. Confucius pleads. I really didn't see anything, please. The Flame Emperor only smiles. I lied, he says, about having a skill like that. It doesn't matter whether you saw or not, he murmurs. Either way, I'm afraid you'll have to die. My name is Sahayu, he tells the doomed man, almost gently. Goodbye. You have died, the world announces. And in his final breath, Confucius wonders why he ever had to live a life like this. Then his own cursed skill stirs to life. A skill will be copied at random from Hunter Sahayu. Just one more chance, he prays into the dark. Please. Just one. And then, impossibly, a familiar voice. Breaking news from Babylon. He's awake. Alive. And the day has started over. What is going on? Confucius gasps, bolting upright. He's home, in his own bed. But I'm certain, he thinks, his hands shaking. I died. I felt myself die. He throws open his skill window, and his breath catches. His copy skill worked. He stole something from his killer. The time traveler's clock. Upon death, the user travels 24 hours back in time, memories and skills fully intact. And just like that, he understands everything. This, he breathes, was the legendary hunter's secret all along. This is why he killed the saint without fear. He simply lived the day before, knew she would poison him, and erased her first. The Flame Emperor's own words echo back to him. I'll kill you. Confucius's eyes harden. Then let's see, he whispers, who kills who first this time. A fire breaks out in the city, and he knows exactly who set it. The Flame Emperor, burning away the evidence of his murder. This is Babylon, the first-floor city, a place built entirely by those who came to climb the tower. And once you enter, the city has one iron rule. You can never leave. That building's on fire. The guild leaders begged the Flame Emperor. Can you help? And what, he answers coldly, do I get in return? I don't do charity work, he says, and strolls away from the flames he himself lit. Everyone else sees a brash, untouchable hero. Only I, Confucius thinks, know that murderer's true nature. I have to kill him, he decides. No matter what it takes. And so he walks straight toward the burning building. That monster, he thinks, deserves to die. This is the only way, he tells himself, stepping into the inferno. The only way I can hunt my prey. You have died. You will travel 24 hours back in time. He burns alive, on purpose, and wakes again. There's no penalty for an F-class using the skill, he notes coldly. The world's contempt for the weak has become his greatest advantage. I can't kill him now, he reasons. Even if I managed it, he'd just rewind a day, the same skill protecting him. So the only way a nobody like me can hunt him down, he realizes, is to go further back than he can. In an old interview, the Flame Emperor lets slip the date. I awakened my first skill on my birthday, 11 years ago. Confucius does the math, and his stomach drops. That's 4,650 days ago. Which means I have to die that many times. You have died. You will travel back. He begins, one death at a time, clawing his way into the past. All right, he pants, broken and bloody. Only 4,049 more days to go. 2,000 more days. Then 543. He dies and dies and dies, the count, grinding down. Until at last, he reaches it. One last day. And then, after thousands upon thousands of deaths, the clock finally stops. I did it, he breathes. He has traveled all the way back, to a time before the Flame Emperor ever became a legend. Even with every death tearing at his body and his mind, he endured all of it. All to wipe the devil's legacy from the face of the world, before it could ever begin. He rises, hollow-eyed and resolute. It's finally time, he says, to hunt my prey. 11 years ago. May the 6th, 11 in the morning. He's replayed this single day more than 10 times, planning the perfect ending. Every morning at 9, his target wakes in a shabby F-class studio. A young Sahayu, long before the title, heads off to grind slimes on the lower floors. Back then, he was nothing. Just another F-class hunter, desperate for a chance to change his life. Frustrated, the young man pays to be sent somewhere harder. An advanced hunting ground on the 6th floor. For 36 minutes, Confucius knows, the two of them will be completely alone up there. And there he waits, disguised as a wounded traveler. Please, Mr. Hunter, help me. The wolves got me. Do you have a potion? The young Soha's eyes go sharp and greedy. And how much, he asks, are you willing to give me for it? My hunt's already ruined, he sneers, and you expect this expensive potion for free? Empty your pockets, he orders. No worries, you can't, in your state. I'll do it for you. 60 gold, he counts, disgusted. Why are you so poor? There's barely anything here worth taking. And then the cruelty Confucius came to confirm. If I let you live, the boy muses, you might come back for revenge. And you've already seen my face. So why don't you, he says lightly, go to hell. The legend of the Flame Emperor was always built on murder. I'll make sure to kill you completely, the young killer says, and runs Confucius through. You told me your name once, Confucius whispers as he bleeds. Right before you took my life. My name is Sahayu, goodbye. After 4,000 deaths, he finally understands. You were never a noble knight. Just a murderer who dressed himself up as one. And this time, Confucius has not come alone. A monster he lured to the floor turns its hunger on the young Soha. You want to eat him? Go ahead, Confucius says, cold as the grave. He's useless to me. And the future Flame Emperor dies, unknown and unmourned. It's done, he breathes. Take me back to the first floor. In the new present, history has quietly rewritten itself. The expedition to clear the 10th floor has failed. And the name that once terrified the world is simply gone. The awful legend of the Flame Emperor, Soha, has been erased from history. Confucius opens his status. 2 passive skills now sleep inside him. I want to be like you, and the time traveler's clock. Rank, still at. He smiles for the first time in 1,000 lifetimes. My life, he thinks, is finally about to change. An endless road of possibilities, stretching out ahead. With the Flame Emperor erased, a new name sits at the top. Blade Saint, real name Marcus Kallenberg. He was the #1 hunter before the Flame Emperor ever rose, and now he holds that crown once more. He surely has an S-class skill, Confucius thinks. A proper active power, not the strange passive curses I was saddled with. And then it dawns on him. My skill copies any hunter's power, he realizes, as long as they're the one who kills me. Which means, perhaps, even the skill of the strongest hunter of this entire age. And best of all, he thinks with a chill of delight, I can't truly die anymore. But first, a warning passes through the hunter's chat rooms. Words you must never, ever say in front of Blade Saint. If you value your life, they whisper, never mention his grandchildren. Confucius files it away. It may come in handy. Then he sets out. Time, he thinks, to track down the #1 hunter. He's easy enough to find, the only soul in all of Babylon who dresses like an old world knight. The Flame Emperor had an EX rank. Time travel skill, Confucius muses. So what could a man even stronger be hiding? Something greater still? Whatever it is, he grins, following close behind, that skill will soon be mine. But the old master doesn't even turn around. Come out now, he says quietly. Young man. I apologize, sir, Confucius says, stepping into view. I only wanted to ask you for a small favor. Weren't you tailing me so loudly, the old man asks, precisely so I'd notice you? You're a fine actor, Blade Saint says coldly. Just as I'd expect from a first-class assassin. My eyes are not so easily deceived, he says. You disgust me. And Confucius realizes, with dawning horror, this is a terrible misunderstanding. I hold many skills, the old man says. And one of them tells me exactly how many people you have killed. A mass murderer? Confucius stammers. I've only killed one person in my whole life. It's a misunderstanding. 4091, Blade Saint intones. I see the number plainly, floating above your head. And Confucius understands. 1 kill for Soha. And the other 4090, every single time he died by his own hand to crawl through the years. To Blade Saint, he is a cold-blooded butcher of 4,000 souls. The deadliest assassin alive. And it gets worse, Confucius realizes. As long as he has that skill, he'll try to kill me on sight, every single time we meet. I will use every ounce of my power, Blade Saint vows, raising his blade, to put you down. Devil. Blade Saint moves like lightning, and Confucius can barely keep his feet. This old man, he thinks, is absolutely insane. I got lucky dodging once, he realizes, but there's no way I escape a second time. And if word spreads that I'm a murderer of 4,000, he thinks fast, I'll be branded a wanted devil. Hunted by every great guild and every top-ranked hunter, until I'm dragged into the square and executed. I have to act, he decides, before my 24 hours run out and it's too late to undo any of this. So he reaches for the one weapon that can end this fast. Tell me, sir, he says, are your grandchildren doing well? You're from a wealthy family up north, he presses. Families like that attract such dangerous attention. You really should warn them to be careful. The old man's blade is faster than sight. As the world tips over, Confucius only thinks, distantly, how beautiful the moon looks. And in his final breath, he fixes his will on his target. I want to be like him, he thinks. I envy him. I want that power too. You have died. And his cursed gift answers once more. The skills of the strongest hunter from 2 different timelines, he thinks greedily, will both be mine. A skill card appears. I'll snatch the gold one, he thinks, just like before. In one pick. But his hand freezes. There's no gold card. There's no gold card at all. The truth stuns him. Blade Saint, the #1 hunter, climbed to the very top without a single S-class skill. Only 3 useless bronze cards, and 4 silver ones, lie waiting before him. This isn't what I wanted, he thinks desperately. I wanted his strongest skill, the secret of a legend. Come on, he begs, reaching for a silver card. Blade Saint's strongest skill. Please. Selection complete. Copying skill. And the world rewinds one more time. He wakes and checks. At least, he sighs, it's an A+ class skill. Better than nothing. But another passive? He groans. I wanted something active. A martial art, an aura, anything I could actually swing. He can't even tell what it does. The name alone gives nothing away. Then a voice cuts in, loud and irritated. Hey, Grandpa. I've told you. If you're going to train at night, keep it down. Confucius goes still. Because there is no one else in the room. Ha! He says. Who said that? If you move, the voice says breezily, I'll just float along beside you. So there's no need to wake me. Confucius whirls around, heart pounding. Who, he demands, are you? The figure blinks at him, just as startled. Wait, it says. You can see me? His copied skill finally makes sense. It binds an otherworldly being, one who cleared every floor of the tower, all the way to the 100th, to its holder. You were a spirit, Confucius breathes, bound to Blade Saint. Yeah, the spirit snaps. Why do you ask? I think, Confucius says weakly, that when I copied his skill, I may have, accidentally, duplicated you. Return me to Grandpa Marcus this instant. The spirit wails, spinning upside down in the air. This is all his fault, it sulks. This is exactly why I kept telling Marcus to treat his teacher with more respect. You should know, the spirit warns, that Blade Saint has a kill-counting skill. The detective's insight. It marks every assassin and murderer. And the count hanging over your head, it says, narrowing its eyes, is 4091. You haven't even awakened your aura, it scoffs. You're a rank rookie. So how could you possibly have killed 4,000 people? I didn't, Confucius admits. I only ever killed one man, and only because he was destined to become a monster. The other 4,090, he says quietly, were all me. Killing myself, over and over, so that I could revive. To travel 11 years into the past, he explains. I have a skill that copies one power from whoever kills me. And when I die, I simply wake 24 hours earlier. In a sense, he says, I'm immortal. He was already number one in my time, and shared my time travel skill. So I had to go back, before he ever awakened it. The spirit stares, genuinely stunned. You crossed 11 whole years, it says, killing yourself every single day, just to take revenge on one man? What's your name, kid? The spirit finally asks. It's Confucius, he says. Confucius Kim. And why Marcus? It asks. He's the number one hunter alive right now, Confucius answers. To grow strong quickly, I copy from the strongest there are. And you only dare tell me all this, the spirit realizes, because the skill says no one but you can see or hear me. I can't betray a word of it. Then it drifts closer, studying him with new eyes. You've got real grit, it murmurs. Your body could be made into something. And you're ambitious. Someone like this, it thinks, just might be worth my time. All right, Confucius, the spirit who conquered 100 floors declares. Show me, he says. Show me how you hunt monsters. Confucius hunts, clumsy and raw, and the spirit watches every move in silence. Then it nods slowly. I was right, it says, about you. Grandpa Marcus might be clearing the 10th floor right now, the spirit booms at dawn, and you want 5 more minutes of sleep? It's 4 in the morning, you crazy old ghost. Confucius groans into his pillow. Even bugs wake at 4, the spirit sniffs. And you're weaker than a bug, so you ought to be up even earlier. Besides, it chuckles, you can't even really die anymore. From now on, I'm calling you Zombie Kim. It's been 4 days since he copied the master of the blade skill from the old knight. In that time he's hunted the young Soho once more, and learned to stay far, far away from Blade Saint. You're in dire need of special training, the spirit declares. And that, zombie, is going to cost you a fortune. So come on, it grins. Let's go win the lottery. There's a guild called the United Merchants, led by the Countess, the number 3 hunter in all the tower. She alone can trade goods with the outer world, which is how her guild came to control the tower's entire economy. And they alone are allowed to run the lottery in Babylon. So Confucius strolls in, already knowing every winning number. I'm here, he says calmly, to claim my prize. The clerk's jaw drops. First place. 53,000 gold. He wins it openly, on purpose. If a quiet winner turns up murdered, he reasons, the guild has questions to answer. Winning in public is the safest play. A top-class manager comes to greet him personally. Arthur Taylor, he says, though most call me the safe keeper. Back in the outer world, the manager notes, this would be worth about $5 million. But to Confucius, the gold is only a means to an end. My true goal, he thinks, is to conquer the tower and stand at its peak. I'll store it here, he decides. Having seen a light far more dazzling than gold, the money can wait. And there's one more thing, he adds. I'd like to buy an honorary membership in the United Merchants. A guild isn't for making friends, he knows. It's for protection. To be shielded under a powerful name. He learned this lesson the hard way. Both the Flame Emperor and Blade Saint killed him without facing a single consequence. The Flame Emperor joined no guild and made himself a target, which is exactly why people dared to poison him. I won't repeat his mistake. And find me a proper home, he asks. I'm done living in a cramped little studio. That's remarkably thorough of you, sir, the manager stammers, thrown by how sharp this lucky F-class really is. This, Confucius thinks, smiling at last, is only the beginning. For 4,000 days I chased nothing but revenge. Now, finally, it's time to enjoy everything I let myself miss. You finally got the gold to pay for your training, the spirit says. So what should a smart student do now? Find a skilled teacher? Confucius offers. Ahem, the spirit huffs. You already have the very best one floating right in front of you. You need something to start with, it says. An elixir to forge your body, or a scroll of martial principles. But in your sorry state, it adds, you couldn't grasp a million scrolls. Which leaves us with elixirs. And they'd better be the very best. Have you heard of the Alchemy Guild? It asks. The healers and brewers. We need a master elixir maker from among them. Even all my gold, Confucius balks, would only buy 4 bottles. Then stop whining, the spirit says, and follow me. They have to dodge danger on the way. Grandpa Marcus is a regular at the finest shop, the spirit warns, far too late, as usual. Then it has an idea. Confucius searches the rankings for a certain name and finds nothing. She's not in the top 300. I can't find her at all. Which means, the spirit grins, those high-grade elixirs might cost us a tiny fraction of what you'd expect. I happen to know a brilliant alchemist, it says, leading him into the worst slum in the city. She's not merely skilled, the spirit insists. She is an outright genius. But they arrive to a disaster. Debt collectors are hauling away her equipment. Half a year past due, they snarl. Time to pay up. Her potions were absurdly overpriced, the neighbors gossip. 40 gold for a single health potion? No wonder her shop went under. From the wreckage, a desperate young woman calls out. Wait. Before you go, won't you try one of my health potions? Please? Don't tell me, Confucius mutters, that this is your genius alchemist. How is that broke loser a genius? But the spirit is certain. That woman, it says, is neither a fool nor a failure. Trust me. So Confucius steps forward. If you're still open for business, he says, I'd like to place an order. A very big one. For this, the spirit knows, is the future master alchemist. A genius who will one day become the 5th-ranked hunter and lead the Academy Guild. How big an order? She asks, dazed. Oh, Confucius says lightly. Around 20,000 gold's worth, just to start. One day she'll be a titan I wouldn't dare oppose, he thinks. But if I can befriend her now, while she's still nobody, then I'll have hit the real jackpot. So what are you waiting for? He smiles. Please, take my order. Tears spilling, she clutches the order like a lifeline. I'll be your #1 supporter, she vows. I swear it. She ushers them inside her cramped, cluttered workshop. Sorry about the mess, she says, flustered. Are you really willing to order 20,000 gold's worth? She asks, hardly daring to believe it. If it's possible, she adds, cheeks burning, would you mind paying right now? She's clearly drowning in debt. But she sets one firm condition. If you've come for narcotic drugs, she warns, I'll have to refuse. That is something I will never make, she says. It goes against my morals. Her shop was seized only hours ago, and still she turned down a fortune. Over principle. There's far more to this woman than meets the eye. No drugs, Confucius assures her, and recites a recipe the spirit feeds him. A rabbit pig's liver, he says. Listen carefully. The eyes of a balloon cat, the skin of a giant desert worm. 23 rare ingredients in all. Combined just right, he says, they sharpen the body's reflexes to their absolute limit. And then she proves herself. The desert worm's skin carries a faint poison, she notes at once, but the rabbit pig's liver neutralizes it perfectly. Confucius blinks, impressed despite himself. Right, he thinks. Real experts like this do still exist. Give me 4 days, she says, eyes alight. With proper funds, I can have your elixirs ready by then. Where did you learn that recipe? She asks. I made it myself, he lies smoothly. By tasting every poison there is, she answers, not realizing she's describing her own future. She understands the true worth of the recipe, the spirit murmurs. Have a little faith in her. I still think she's going to scam us, Confucius mutters. We'll see, zombie, the spirit says. We'll see. You only grow stronger, the spirit insists, by training in real danger like this. So it throws him straight into a monster's path. And to his shock, it works. He's slow, Confucius marvels, watching the beast crawl. This must be the elixir taking hold. I can see every attack coming, he grits, but why are my own movements so sluggish? Because your body has no path for your aura yet, the spirit explains. Right now you're a deep forest with no trail cut through it. The elixir is the only reason you can feel your aura at all, it says. Without it, you'd stand no chance whatsoever. As much as it galls me to admit it, Confucius thinks, the ghost is right. I'm nothing but an overgrown trail choked with weeds. You could do nothing when Marcus beheaded you, the spirit says. His aura path is as wide and clean as a town street. That gorgeous strike was only a town street? Confucius gapes. Then even Blade Saint, he realizes, still has a long road ahead of him. Now focus everything you have, the spirit commands, onto the very tip of your blade. He cuts the monster down, but the cost is brutal. That's what happens, the spirit says, when you force aura through a body with no path for it. You wrecked your own body just to kill a single orc, it scolds. You must feel like you're dying. If it weren't for your reviving skill, the spirit admits, I'd never train you this savagely. But you're a zombie, it grins. No matter how hard I break your body, you'll just come back whole. Except, it adds, if you die by your own hand, your kill count climbs. So let's avoid that particular road. Still, it says, almost proud, you grasped your aura on the very first try. At this rate, you might only need to repeat this a little. The orc's blow finally lands, and the world goes black. You have died. He opens his eyes in a strange gray place. I call this the underworld, the spirit says. Where you wait, after death, before you revive. Then a familiar prompt glows. The requirements are met. A skill will be copied at random from the monster, orc. Monsters have skills too? Confucius gasps, eyes lighting up. This, he breathes, changes absolutely everything. I want this one too, he says greedily, reaching for the card. And his collection, one death at a time, begins to grow. A monster's skill, Confucius muses, studying the two cards. I suppose it won't matter much which one I pick. They're both bronze, he shrugs. I can only see the backs anyway, so it's pure luck. But the spirit pipes up. What are you talking about? It says. I can see them. The fronts. Of course it can. The spirit can fly anywhere it pleases, drifting around to read the face of every card. Card number 1, it reads aloud. The orcs, to survive a cruel world, maximized one particular trait above all others. Blessing of reproductivity, it announces. Warning. You will be afflicted with mating urges all year round. Confucius pales. Card number 2, the spirit continues, barely holding back laughter. CHK. The noble art of speaking fluent orc. They're both garbage, Confucius decides, but at least talking to orcs won't ruin my life. I'll take CHK, selection complete. Copying skill. And so the legendary suicide hunter adds, to his arsenal, the ability to chat with orcs. His skill list grows stranger by the day. I want to be like you. The time traveler's clock. Master of the blade. And now, CHK. You know, Confucius notes dryly, you call me zombie when you've got the upper hand, and Confucius when you don't. Then he puts his silly new skill to work. CHK, he says sweetly to a charging orc, and the creature freezes, utterly disarmed. And he strikes. You cheating bastard. The spirit cackles. Tricking a poor honest orc like that. Innocent orcs are dying, it wails in mock outrage, because of dirty schemers like you. Confucius only smiles, wiping his blade. Enough complaining, he says. It's time we cleared the 4th floor. 1 week later, he stands over a fallen boss. The great goblin king, brought low. How, the dying king rasps in disbelief, can anyone but me speak the language of the great king so perfectly? Confucius only grins, the skill already copied. Out of everything I've fought this week, he says, you were the strongest. You only hunted one boss, the spirit deadpants. You're not all that. I took him down in under 6 coins, Confucius protests. 6 lives. Can't you let me enjoy a victory for once? Then the world itself responds. Confucius Kim will now rank up. Light pours off him. You are now an E-class hunter, it declares. A new skill slot has been unlocked. That glow tells a story, the spirit explains. A hunter's aura takes a shape, and that shape is a hint. The Flame Emperor's, fittingly, was fire. The form is born from trauma, it says. A life-changing event, an image burns so deep it shapes the soul. Yours, it tells him, studying the light, is unmistakably fire, or blood. And Blade Saints? Confucius asks. A moon, the spirit answers softly. As a boy, Marcus was lost in the mountains and climbed to the peak rather than die. There he saw the moon, which cannot shine on its own, but borrows its light from the sun. Words he has lived by ever since he was 12. Then Confucius makes a wager. If I can't clear the 10th floor with just 2 coins, he says, I'll call you master. It took you 6 lives to fell a goblin king, the spirit scoffs. How could you possibly clear the deadly 10th floor on 2? And if I win, Confucius smiles, you address me, ever so politely, as Sir Confucius. But a floor guardian blocks his path. Hunting this floor alone, he says, is simply suicide. Didn't you see the news? The Black Dragon Guild sent 34 elite hunters at the 10th floor, and still they fail. So Confucius spins a tragic lie. The truth is, he says, voice breaking, I actually want to die. My lover passed a year ago, he weeps, and the Alchemy Guild has just diagnosed me with an incurable disease. Here, he says, pressing over a purse of gold. This is all the money I saved for treatment. I won't be needing it where I'm going. It's my final wish as a hunter, he says. The guardian wipes his eyes. I understand, he sniffs. I'll pretend I saw no one enter. This is quite a performance, the spirit notes flatly. Are you filming a movie? Whatever gets us to the 10th floor, Confucius shrugs. And there he stands, at the threshold. This was the floor the Flame Emperor was always meant to conquer. But now, Confucius vows, stepping into the dark, it's my turn to carve out a legend even greater than his. And from the shadows, small giggling voices drift out. Did you come to play with us? They coo. Let's play. Freeze tag? Hide and seek? The mightiest guild, the Black Dragon, has failed the 10th floor 30 times over. Being lucky is also a skill, the Flame Emperor once sneered. You losers. It raised a question no one could answer. How was the Flame Emperor the only soul ever to clear this floor? The rule is simple, the giggling boss explains. Among thousands of dolls, find the one that's real, and destroy it. But the whole arena is drowned in flame, hellfire conjured from raw aura. Even shielding himself, Confucius has only minutes before it burns through. And the cruel trick reveals itself. This fire does nothing to a hunter whose aura takes the form of flame. That is why only the Flame Emperor could win here. There are only 2 ways to clear this floor, the spirit says. Beat impossible odds and find the real doll in one guess, or outlast the fire long enough to search. With his aura failing, Confucius gambles and grabs a doll at random. Gotcha, he says. Wrong, the boss sings. It's not the one. The flames take him. Time's up, zombie, the spirit murmurs. Kill me quickly, Confucius gasps through the burning. I can't believe you'd let yourself burn alive just to become the greatest, the spirit says, almost in awe, as the world goes white. And in death, his skill answers again. A skill will be copied at random from the Hellfire Maiden. This one's strong, the spirit whistles. You can conjure that same hellfire yourself, whenever you please. But something nags at Confucius. It's a fine skill, he murmurs, yet something about all this feels deeply wrong. A gold card, the spirit urges, glows among the rest. The Hellfire Barrier. Take it, that's the one. But Confucius shakes his head. The fake dolls weren't burning either, he realizes. And that's only possible if the real doll's fire protects every doll around it. So he chooses a different card entirely. Always be careful of fire. The very immunity that hides the true doll in plain sight. He dies once more to claim it, but this time the world adds a warning. There will be a penalty for using your skill. A trauma from the one who killed you, it reads, will now be reenacted. The Hellfire Maiden's trauma. And the darkness pulls him under. He opens his eyes in someone else's memory. Please, mister, a starving orphan begs. Can you spare me some bread? Even leftovers are fine. A kindly doctor takes the children in. Come with me, he smiles. Many of your friends are already at my mansion. Let me treat you. But behind closed doors, his voice turns to ice. Only a beast barks for food when it's hungry, he sneers. I know you're kind, you orphans. You're the children of witches, he proclaims to a gathered cult. The poison of this land. We shall save our world by offering you to our God. Where, one small voice weeps, do you keep taking my friends? Why do you keep hurting us? Why? And Confucius understands. This is the 10th floor boss's true form. Not a monster, but a murdered child. The bosses, the spirit says quietly, are forged from the lives they once led. Most of them, long ago, were living, breathing people. The mansion goes up in flames. The cultists flee with their gold, leaving the children caged in the cellar below. We did nothing wrong, the small voices cry as the fire closes in. We only wanted to not starve. We only wanted to play a little more. That boss is only a monster now, the spirit says, not unkindly. Those children perished long ago, in a world you can't reach. There's nothing to be done. This, it adds, is surely what the Flame Emperor decided too. He'd have found the real doll and destroyed it without a flicker of hesitation. But Confucius's jaw sets. I don't, he says, want to be anything like that bastard. Then the truth of the skill clicks into place. The Hellfire Barrier reads, no one can leave this hell without your permission. That's how the Black Dragon survived without ever winning, he realizes. The boss simply gave them permission to leave. Because all it ever wanted was one thing. Play with us, the children plead from the flames. Play with us. Okay, Confucius says softly, cloaking himself in fire immunity. I'll play with you. Mister, a child gasps, you're not catching fire. Then can you really play with us? Of course I can, he smiles. We're playing hide and seek, he announces, warm and bright. So go on, hide. Hide well, before I come and find you. It isn't a battle at all, the spirit realizes, watching. It's a rite. A way of comforting souls that were never allowed to rest. Gotcha, Confucius says, gently, finding the last of them. There. Now you're it. And for the first time in an eternity, the children are at peace. Kind sir, they whisper, fading into light. Thank you. The tower itself responds. Normal stage cleared. Hidden stage cleared. The boss stage has been cleared. He did it, his own way. The tower records his triumph. Challenger, Confucius Kim, solo hunter. Reward to be granted upon his entry to the 11th floor. Even when I was alive, the spirit admits, I could barely clear the hidden stages. You, he says, should be proud of yourself. It just hit me, Confucius says quietly, that the world is a genuinely cruel place. The same horrors, in every world, wherever people are involved. But then the spirit does something rare. You punk, it grumbles. You beat that boss with your own strategy. I know how to give credit where it's due. And now that you and I are partners, it declares, a celebration for you is a celebration for me. Then the announcement rolls out across every floor. Today, the 10th floor stage has been cleared. The 11th floor will open in 24 hours. The whole tower erupts. Fireworks on the first floor, the third, everywhere. Did anyone hear that? Who cleared the 10th floor? Was it the Black Dragon? The chat rooms asked. But they never announced it. They'd be shouting it from the rooftops if they had. Then it must be Blade Saint, someone says. No, comes the reply. Blade Saint is at the bar right now, drinking his milk. Here's a photo. None of this makes any sense, the whole world murmurs at once. No one has any idea who cleared the floor. And Confucius watches it all with a knowing smile. I've seen this exact scene before, he thinks, in a life that no longer exists. The real show, he murmurs as the clock ticks down, is only just beginning. The Countess herself comes for him, a cat who slips into human form. You can see ghosts, Confucius shrugs, so a shapeshifting cat barely phases me. 500,000 gold, and a co-guild leader's seat? He asks. Isn't that a bit much for one cleared floor? Then the others arrive, the most powerful people in the tower. The poisonous viper of the heavenly order. The Inquisitor. The Black Dragon's right hand. It's been ages since we all gathered, one notes. It feels like yesterday we cleared the 2nd floor together, side by side. This is all a setup, Confucius thinks, eyeing them. They sent their underlings first to soften me up before showing their own faces. You have no record before the 10th floor, the Countess observes coolly. It's as though you simply appeared, a legend out of thin air. So they cut to it. Which guild, they ask, do you intend to join? Now that the 10th floor has fallen, one explains, we finally have a story to sell. A way to make the whole world curious about the tower again. It could even ease the food shortage, says another. The trade routes to the outer world are no longer enough. We need fresh blood, new hunters. What we need, the Countess says, is an icon. A face to inspire both worlds. And you want that face, Confucius says, to be mine. This is a hard choice, he muses, producing a deck of cards. So how about we settle it with a game? We'll play poker, he proposes. If any of you wins, I'll join your guild. No money, no conditions. And if I win, he says, I get simultaneous membership in every one of your guilds. An ordinary member to the world, and equal to all of you. Skills are banned, of course, he adds. Get caught using one, and you forfeit on the spot. Agreed? Then he turns to his invisible partner. Just for this game, he murmurs, you'll call me sir? But you, he adds, will tell me exactly what every one of them is holding. No problem at all, sir, the spirit cackles, drifting behind their chairs. Sir, the spirit whispers, drifting over a shoulder. This woman has a straight. I'd fold this round. Hand after hand, Confucius bets without a flicker of doubt. I'm going all in, he says. This makes no sense, a guild leader snaps. 30 rounds, and he hasn't lost a single one. He never falls for a bluff. You never know. Confucius says innocently. Maybe I'm just a very experienced poker player. It's so unfair of you to call me a cheat. Wait, he adds. How did you know I'm not an F-class anymore? I ranked up to E. I just hadn't told the bureau yet. But the Countess only smiles. I knew he was cheating from the start, she says. Did you really think a rookie would suggest this game without a trick up his sleeve? He challenged us, she explains, precisely because he was confident he could win without being caught. And we accepted anyway. Winning would be nice, she shrugs. But even losing costs us nothing. Either way, this young man ends up ours. I was born in a place once called Ukraine, she says softly. I lost my family to war, and wandered both worlds my whole life. But in this tower, none of that matters. No one cares about your past here. We made sure of that. We're all equals, all challengers. The outer world calls this place a dump, Confucius notes. The Countess only smiles. Roses, she says, can still bloom even in a dump. When that clock strikes 0, she warns him, the whole world will speak your name. Your life will never be the same. I hope you'll handle it wisely. Sounds good to me, he grins. I like attention. I want everyone to praise me, and envy me. That's just who I am. On the final hand, he pushes everything forward. I'm going all in, he says. I'm confident in myself. I don't expect to be your equal just for clearing one floor, he tells them. What matters is who climbs the tower first. That's who deserves to be called a hero. All I want from you, he says, is your support as I climb. I want to taste what it feels like to stand at the very top again. You really are exactly like Blade Saint, 1 liter size. The two of you, both bottomless pits of greed. Then the cards turn over. A flush for the Witch of the Black Dragon. And a full house, for the hunter Confucius Kim. So it was a compliment after all, he smiles. The winner of this game is Confucius Kim. Thanks. As promised, he says, rising, you'll treat me as an equal from here on out. The duty of a hunter is to climb the tower, isn't it? Don't worry, I've got it. Finally, the spirit groans the instant they're alone. I can breathe again. Sir Confucius, my ass. He never lets it go. Roleplay, Confucius says, looking up at the next floor. That's the theme of the next 10 levels. The only hint they gave me for clearing the 10th. And quietly, he makes a vow to the ghost at his side. I promise, he says. Someday, I'll repay this debt. The legend of the suicide hunter has only begun.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Apex Manhwa. Last time on SSS-Class Suicide Hunter, we met Confucius Kim, the weakest hunter in the tower. A skill-less F-class errand boy, mocked, broke, and invisible next to the heroes he envied. Then the tower finally gave him a skill of his own, the most twisted one imaginable. To copy any ability he wants, he first has to die to it. His first death handed him a regression skill. Every time he's killed, the last 24 hours rewind. Armed with infinite retries, he turned dying into a weapon. He trained under a 100-floor ghost master, outbluffed every guild at the poker table, and walked away with their treasures. And on the 10th floor, where everyone else swung swords, he cleared the trial with compassion. A solo clear that set the entire tower buzzing. Now, in part 2, the tutorial officially ends, and floors 11 through 20 demand a test of faith. If you're new here, the full story plays from the very beginning. If you've been with us, let's pick up right where we left off. The whole tower is buzzing with one question. Did they make an official announcement about the 10th floor yet? Even the Blade Saint is on video denying the rumors. But there's been no update about the 10th floor on the news. Nothing official, just whispers. So everyone keeps asking the same thing. Who do you think cleared it? Then someone shouts to look. A countdown is ticking. 11 seconds left. 8, 6, 5. The whole tower holds its breath. Search feeds explode. 20 million results on the 10th floor clear, and still nobody has answers. And then it comes. An announcement for everyone. Starting today, the tutorial has ended. Warriors, climbers of the tower, finally the real game begins. A radiant figure appears in the sky. Some gasp that it's an angel, a goddess even. But Kim isn't fooled. Don't fall for it, he says. That's no goddess. She's just a built-in system that announces quests. Basically, an NPC. How are you so sure of that? Someone asks. Kim just shrugs. Because the figure continues. If you wish to take on this mission, all you have to say is transport. Someone pokes at the figure, their hand passes clean through. It was a hologram all along. That's exactly what I did a long time ago, Kim says smugly. See? NPC. Then, without ceremony, he says the word. Transport. A booming laugh cuts through the plaza. Looks like I've been beaten to the punch again. What a fine day. It's the Inquisitor. Well then, he grins. I'll see you all on the 11th floor. Transport. And the floodgates open. Transport. Transport. Climbers vanish one after another as the voice declares. You shall be confronted with a test of faith from the 11th to the 20th floors. I trust that you will all find an answer, it says. And the answer you find shall reveal your true self. And in doing so, you shall finally understand your true purpose. Kim uses that whoever built this tower put real thought into it. That message was left specifically for the climbers to hear, and nobody seems to care. Normally people would stop and marvel, he thinks. The tower's existence skills that hologram. Everything about it is a miracle. But everyone's gotten too comfortable with the first 10 floors. You're surprisingly sentimental, his companion teases. Do I seem more attractive now that you know I'm a woman with a music degree? She jokes. She majored in music back in the outer world. Then a stranger cuts in with a loaded question. Are you Hunter Confucius Kim? Oh dear. The stranger smiles as the crowd turns. Looks like I've drawn attention to you. I apologize. I'll be off to the 11th floor first. Kim calls after him. Is this the reason you approached me? What can I say? The man calls back. I'm good at reading people. Consider this my way of showing interest. Transport. And he's gone, leaving Kim exposed. What did I say, zombie? I told you that punk was suspicious. The reporters descend instantly. We're from Return News. Is it true you cleared the 10th floor on your own? What is your relationship with the paladin? Is it true you're an E-class? Kim just wants to reach the 11th floor. What should he even say? So he give them one line, calm as ever. I plan to clear the 20th floor as well. Have a good one then. Transport. And in a flash of light, he's gone. The 11th floor greets him with a single burning command. Stop the Demon King's army. The 11th floor is pure chaos. Soldiers scream not to give up, that the Empire will fall if they do, while others cry that it's impossible, there are just too many of them. And someone drops the brutal truth. The tutorial stage is over now. From here on, every stage will be just like this one. A herald calls out to the warriors who have come from another world. Please, lend us your strength in protecting the Ejim Empire. The port is the last lifeline of the Empire, he explains. It must be secured so the supply route to the capital isn't cut off. Then the quest drops. Secure the supply route. The Demon King, a monster straight out of legend, has raised an army to invade the Empire, and his first move is cutting off its supplies. And there's a warning attached. Fail to secure the port, and the 12th floor will not open. While hunters scramble to follow the Blade Saint's lead, the man himself is carving through the horde. You're no match for me, he roars. He's hunted thousands of these goblin bastards in the past 6 years. And in the middle of all that screaming and killing, one hunter gets a very different message. Veljome hunter Confucius Kim. His reward for clearing the 10th floor will now be granted. First, the normal stage reward, the blessing of the god of navigation. He now has access to maps of the 11th through 20th floors. He knew there'd be an awesome reward, but then a hidden stage reward lands on top, the blessing of the god of knowledge. He can now view the skills and locations of every single NPC from the 11th to the 20th floor. And it's still not done. Another hidden reward drops, the blessing of the god of commerce. He may now select and obtain any item of his choosing from the 11th to 20th floors. 3 blessings stacked on one F-rank nobody. Someone nearby curses this shitty game of luck. Kim just smiles. Now this, he says, is what he calls a true game of skills. Every stage of the tower has its own theme. The first 10 floors were the tutorial. The next 10 are the Demon King's invasion. And there are only 2 ways to beat the Demon King's army. Either you have enough power to take it on single-handedly, or you create and lead an army of your own. And you're planning on choosing the latter, his companion asks. Is that even possible? Does he even have experience leading an army? Of course not, he admits. but he's sure he can obtain a skill that will help him. His status window still reads a pitiful low rank with all 5 skill slots filled, and he doesn't care one bit. "Hey, Sword Emperor," he calls out, "you said this was a shitty game of luck, right? Then watch." He'll show exactly why this is a game of skill, and starts retrieving the full NPC list. Display the NPCs located on the 11th floor. From those, the top 100 with the highest rank skills, then NPCs with skills to command an army. Someone begs him to stop, to build strength from the ground up, asking if he's not embarrassed to call himself Confucius. "Nope," he says, "not at all. Display only the top 3. Names scroll past: a knight commander, a regional commander at Kungur, an imperial knight. Now, display their locations on the map. And finally, display my location." He took rewards that were merely decent and turned them into something great, all because he knows how to use his head. "That's not using your head." The Sword Emperor snaps. "Those are petty tricks." Kim just laughs. Knowing how to use petty tricks is also a skill. And according to the map, the NPC closest to him is this guy, General S-S-Class. "General," Kim says, "I have a special request I'd like to ask of you." Someone screams at the NPC not to fall for it. The man's a scammer. The general gladly offers his help. So Kim tells him, "Please kill me." The general can only blink. "Huh? He has a secret skill," Kim explains, "a self-sacrifice skill. If he dies, a blessing will fall onto this battlefield, and the Empire will be able to win this war." The general refuses. How could he kill a fellow warrior? But Kim presses on. "If you don't end me now, I'll have to do it myself. This is the only guaranteed way to save the Empire." He's just asking the general to do the honor. The general agonizes. The Empire's safety matters, but how can he take the life of someone who came to help their world? Watching from the side, all anyone can think is, did he really fall for it? Finally, the general draws his blade and prays. "Dear Lord, do not forgive me for this sin I am to commit. At the very least," he says, "he will make this painless." "Please tell me your name," the general asks. "It's Confucius Kim." "You truly are a real warrior," the general tells him. And the blade falls. "You have died, but death is just the trigger." A skill will be copied at random from NPC S-S-Class. There's a common Korean saying Kim uses. "A man can run, but a better one will fly." And there's a similar saying. "A hunter can wield a sword, but a better one will wield an army." The hunters on the front line can only gawk at the figure charging in on horseback, asking who the hell that is. It's a saying from the great Confucius. He answers. Kim rolls out his newest trick, Battlefield Insight. It grants the qualities of an exceptional general, letting him feel exactly where his allies stand and where the weak points in the enemy lines lie. And this one, he notes proudly, is an ability he created himself. He calls the plays like a strategy game. Keep going straight, then take a right, and you'll find the demon army's general. There are monsters along the way, but it'll be fine. Just wipe them out. The soldiers eat it up completely. The goddess's hero will protect us, they cry. That's the real function of the skill, Kim admits. It lets him pretend to be a military expert and win the general's total trust. Meanwhile, the troops crash into the goblin lines, screaming to wipe them out. And of course, the skill isn't doing all the work. He's repeated this exact day a few times already. He even recognizes individual goblins, noting that one is flying away today as well. The other half of the con is the item on his back. Lafanta Regim's Holy Sword of Protection, Rarity Legacy. Legend says a goddess gifted this sword to the founder of the empire himself. And there's a prophecy attached. When the fateful day arrives, the one wielding the holy sword shall also arrive, and its bearer receives the absolute trust and support of the empire's people. So when the crowd sees it, they lose their minds. It's the founder's holy sword, they weep. God has not abandoned the empire. All hail the empire. All hail the hero. As the army surges forward, Kim savors the view. Good, really good, he says. It was worth clearing that hidden stage just to see this sight. The ghost riding along absolutely explodes. What do you mean worth it? You traded it for a shitty-ass item. It's just a hard and shiny sword, she rages. There were plenty of epic items on offer, so why on earth did he pick that one? Kim's answer is pure cold logic. It's durable, it's shiny, and it makes every NPC up to floor 20 go absolutely nuts over it. Don't you get it? He says. NPCs aren't just tools that hand out quests. They're entities you use to beat the quests. And right on cue, the crowd howls for their hero to watch over them. Kim can even hear other hunters muttering in envy, wondering why he's the only one standing beside the general. The ghost is scandalized. She taught him aura, and instead of practicing swordsmanship, he's strengthening his ears to eavesdrop on people. So what if he likes it? He fires back. Swim it. And then the report comes in. The left wing of the demon army has fallen. Kim doesn't let up for a second. Don't stop, he orders. Keep charging toward their main forces. The soldiers roar back. We can win. Follow the general. Follow the hero. And then the army's real target comes into view. The demon army general itself. When the dust settles, the cry goes up. We defeated the evil monsters. The goddess's hero has defeated the enemy's leader. The soldiers cheer. The battle is won. As for the stragglers, the hunters handle cleanup. Solo hunting is our area of expertise. One grins. Kill them all. Then the system announcement drops and the whole floor freezes. The stage is cleared. We beat floor 11 in one day, someone shouts. Is this for real? The assessment completes and the hunters are riding high. Are we too strong? They laugh. Long live the Black Dragon Guild. Then the top 10 contribution ranking appears and the mood shifts. First place, Kim Gong-ja. Second place, the Sword Saint. The crowd is baffled. Why doesn't first place even have an alias? And the Sword Saint is only ranked second? Then it clicks. Kim Gong-ja is the one who cleared floor 10. Is he some hidden master, they wonder. Hidden master, my ass, the ghost scoffs. He's just a smart-mouthed wimp. Kim smirks and asks if she finally admits this is a godly game of skill. Nope, she snaps. She refuses to acknowledge it. This ghost, Kim observes, really values raw ability over skills. So he offers a peace treaty. He promises to practice some swordsmanship before he clears floor 20, if she'll just stop pouting. Of course he means it, he adds. Why would he waste a chance to learn from the Sword Emperor herself? If anything, he should be begging her to teach him. Zombie, you're finally recognizing my true worth, she beams. Too easy, Kim thinks. It is way too easy to make this ghost happy. Then the old general approaches with his deepest gratitude. We were victorious thanks to you, he tells Kim. He shares an old prophecy. One day, the demon army would arrive. But do not fear, for heroes from another world would be summoned as well. Still, the general confesses he was skeptical. Would those heroes truly fight with everything they have for a world that isn't even theirs? He offers Kim a handshake as proper thanks. Even between different worlds, the gesture holds the same meaning. I have great expectations of you, the general says. Kim answers simply that he'll try his best. Then the system starts handing out clear rewards, and it's a big one. The top contributors will be given early entry to floor 12. And until those top contributors claim their rewards, everyone else is banned from entering floor 12. The gap between Kim and the rest just got wider. As Kim prepares to move on, the general leaves him with one final line. I'll leave the fate of my empire in your hands. Word spreads fast. Only the top 10 climbers are getting summoned. And someone immediately asks the scary question. Won't old man Marcus be there too? What are you going to do? His companion presses. If the old man spots him, he's going to come at him like a madman. Kim tells her not to worry so much. The worst that can happen is him dying. She has to ask if he's being for real right now. It's fine, he says, because he has a plan. And then the system cuts him off. Transfer complete. Kim looks around and realizes where he's standing. The Egypt Empire's palace. A booming greeting hits him first. Hunter Kim, you were amazing. Kim turns and blinks. The heretic inquisitor? The man looks nothing like before. He's made himself younger, using his ability. The inquisitor gushes that Kim's performance on floor 11 was pure entertainment. Using the NPCs like that. Then he eyes Kim's unusual sword and asks if it's a reward from floor 10. Kim can only mumble that, well, yes. Then the air changes. Holy technique, god of flesh. What a surprise, Sword Saint, the Inquisitor says. Since when did you become an assassin? The old man's answer is ice cold. I will be killing that man. Pardon me, comes the careful reply. But by that man, do you perhaps mean Hunter Kim? That is correct. And if they don't move aside, he'll cut off one of their arms in the process. The Inquisitor laughs that would be quite the pickle. He has a lot of uses for his arm. Besides, if Hunter Kim dies here, the reputation of the 5 great guilds falls to the ground. So may he please know why the Sword Saint is after him? The Sword Saint has no obligation to explain himself. So the Inquisitor answers in kind. Holy technique, god of teleportation. And the old man just shrugs him off, grumbling about damn pesky fruit flies. The trash talk flies mid-battle. The Sword Saint gets called old to his face, and he roars back, "Oh my ass." Life starts in your 40s. Someone off to the side just double-checks that thing is on their team, right? Focus on the fight in front of you. Viper, comes the warning. They are at a disadvantage in this fight. So Kim makes his move, and it's not a sword. Countess, he shouts, please give me just 10,000 gold. She talks business even now. 15% compound interest, waived if fully repaid within 3 months. Kim protests that she's misunderstood. He never asked to borrow. He's demanding charity. It's dirty money anyway, he tells her. Donate it to the temple and go to heaven. She can only mutter that he's an even nastier thief than she is. Withdraw. 10,000 gold. And the temple accepts. Thank you for the payment. Holy technique, god of donation. Holy attribute body, strengthening pours into the buff targets, the paladin and the viper. Duration, 300 seconds. Gold shall grasp our hands. The gold coins ignite. For the next 300 seconds, the paladin and the Chun Woon clan master will be completely different fighters. Even you will struggle against me, the countess, the paladin, and the celestial clan master, the inquisitor declares, and the countess has yet to run out of money. If he likes, they can test which comes first, his death or the countess's bankruptcy. The countess just wants to know why her money keeps getting dragged into this. And one more word of advice, there will be more than just them joining this fight. Because Hunter Kim made an official agreement with the 5 guilds yesterday. An agreement? Yep. As of now, Kim has joined all 5 guilds with the same qualifications as a guild master. Therefore, Sword Saint, point your sword at him, and you're pointing your sword at all of them. Do you really think you can face all of them at once? This was a plan Kim came up with. Remember the words from Floor 11? There are 2 ways to fight against a strong opponent. One is having enough raw power to crush an army by yourself. The other is to raise an army yourself. A solo player is powerless against a hunter backed by a mighty alliance. So Kim offers the old man something unexpected, a conversation. Honestly, he says he's shocked by this whole ordeal. He doesn't know why the Sword Saint is attacking. This may be the first time they've met, but he's been a big fan for a while. Dead silence. He's not buying it. Kim can guess why. The Sword Saint probably still assumes he's an assassin sent by the Black Dragon. And honestly, from an outsider's perspective, Kim admits he's more than just a little bizarre, a walking zombie. In the old man's eyes, he must look exactly like an underling raised by a major guild, not some upstart hunter. In other words, scheming together. The Sword Saint looks around and scoffs. The outside world and the Babylon really aren't much different. He reminds the guild masters that after he entered the tower, they pressured him every single day to join a guild. Bloodline, nationality, affiliation. Unlike the reeking outside world, tangled up by such lowly things, here one can become the greatest with just a single sword. And then the old man roars it out. You have all already become stagnant, moldy mud water. But the guild masters fire right back. You survived by yourself because you only cared about yourself. One snaps. Had you helped out, many more hunters could have survived. You were the only one who didn't help with the Floor 5 raid. Another shouts. Or Floor 7, or Floor 9. The casualties could have been cut in half if you had just helped. Gramps. If you were rank 1, then display a sense of responsibility befitting rank 1. Silence. The Sword Saint just sneers. You're all grown adults. Yet you can't stop yapping, he says. Do you think I'm your actual grandfather? Cut the bullcrap. If you want to fight, fight with your swords. And Kim beams. That's exactly what he expects from Gramps, his one and only. Everyone freezes. Because think about it, he says. Even the Floor 11 locals came together to save their country. A hunter tells him this has nothing to do with him, that it's about something far more serious. Kim notes. He understands that. He really does. But as hunters, shouldn't they first focus on clearing 412? Instead of pointing fingers and holding grudges, shouldn't they act better than the NPCs? Not worse? After all, that nation is on the brink of collapse, and its fate was left in their hands. Someone protests. How can the summoned heroes put the Empire second? Kim just shrugs. Is there really much to being a hero? If you solve the problems others can't, you're a hero. So let's clear the rest of the stages like Floor 11. Then a new voice cuts in. Kim is right, it says. Everyone turns. The paladin? As everyone can see, she has an ability that lets her discern people's lies. It's the very skill that carried her to vice captain of her corps. Clearing suspicions raised by one skill by using another skill. Kim says he's fine with that. The Sword Saint studies her. You're the only one here to have never harmed another human being, he says. All right, he should put his faith in her as well. Then let the trial begin. Sword Saint, ask him your questions. She puts her honor and the honor of the Vigilante Corps on the line to judge his answers fairly. And the question drops like a guillotine. You have murdered over 4,000 people. Is that true? Kim answers with a single word. Yes. The Sword Saint erupts in triumph. Do you all see, you lowly filth, using this man as an assassin? But the paladin cuts him off cold. It is false. Kim answered yes, she explains, and that answer was a lie. In other words, he has not killed 4,000 people. Kim just tilts his head. What a weird question to begin with, he says. Can one person even kill that many people? The old man stammers that the guilds must have raised this young man as an elite assassin. And Kim happily agrees. That's right, he declares. I am an elite assassin. That is a lie, the paladin deadpants. The Sword Saint howls that he has completely misjudged her, that he believed she would mediate without lying. She fires back. Isn't that why she asked at the start if he would actually trust her? Wait, the old man shouts. It's impossible that he hasn't murdered a single person. And Kim nods. Ah, that's right. The paladin confirms it. It is the truth. But it is exactly one person, Kim adds. Also the truth. Of course, murder is still murder, he admits. However, that bastard really deserved it. Still the truth. Not only did the guy try to kill him first, he was actually an unbelievable mass murderer. The paladin hums along. Truth after truth after truth. And the guild masters burst out laughing. What an interesting theory, one cackles. It would have been great if it was true. Unfortunately, yesterday was the first time they ever met Kim. Kim turns to the old man with a quiet jab. Gramps, I told you before that you'd be doomed by relying on stuff like skills. Everyone agrees it was all merely a misunderstanding, and Kim says he's glad. But had the guild masters not protected me, Kim points out, I probably would have died, right? So at this point, he thinks he needs to receive an apology. What do you think, Mr. Sword Saint? Kim doesn't back down an inch. At this point, he says, I need to receive a word of apology from you. What do you think, Mr. Sword Saint? And the verdict lands. It is the complete truth. You are fully in the wrong. Atologice, topstai Kim gong-ja. The old man stammers, caught completely off guard. And Kim watches closely. How will he act? The paladin is famed for being clean, but he's still a member of the 5 great guilds. Will the Sword Saint claim the paladin lied? Scream that they're all conspiring to fool him? Or will he reveal his skill card to exonerate himself? It won't fit his image, but it would be perfect evidence. Or worst case, he might try to silence Kim by killing him, just like the Sword Emperor did. When people are in the wrong, they make excuses or distrust others. Just like the Flame Emperor revealed his evil nature by choosing to silence him. However the Sword Saint resolves this, he will decide on his own what kind of person he is. The old man bows his head. I sincerely apologize. I was in the wrong, he says. I thought lightly and lightly made an assumption, which almost made me lightly kill someone. Then he goes even further. Until now, he believed anyone who deserved to die should be purged from this world, even a second sooner. He killed according to his beliefs. But from this point on, he vows that shall never happen again. Instead of doubting the paladin or making excuses with his skills, the swordsman declares that words alone are useless. If there is anything you desire, he says, I shall do it. No silencing, no denial. He simply accepts his faults. At least, Kim notes, that would be the gentlemanly thing to say. Because then the legend starts begging. Please spare me from taking my own life. He pleads, forgive this shameless old geezer, so he may live on to reach the top of this tower. The mighty sword saint, pleading without hesitation to a greenhorn hunter. Kim runs the words back. I am sorry. I might be in the wrong. From now on, I will never kill anyone simply because of my skill. And I want to live, so please forgive me. Every single line, truth. So Kim names his price. Sir Sword Saint, please teach me the sword. To be precise, he wants the old man to accept a duel whenever he asks. Kim somehow ended up with a teacher, but he doesn't actually have anyone to duel with. And he's honest about why he's asking for anything at all. He'd feel embarrassed appearing to be the bigger man. He admits he's not someone that great. He'd be content just having the Sword Saint not view him as an enemy. That's why he wants the Sword Saint to teach him his best sword technique. Then inside, Kim is screaming. He feels so embarrassed. How is the Sword Saint able to pour out his feelings like that? Unbelievable. Amazingly, every word of it was the truth. The old man blinks at him. You're okay not asking for anything, but you won't because you're too embarrassed to act all high and mighty? Are you being serious? After watching children immaturely preoccupied with self-profit, he says, it's surprising to see someone like Hunter Kim gong-ja after so long. A voice crows about what a beautiful sight this is. Someone who earnestly apologizes, someone who earnestly forgives when humans fight without end. A true apology is a holy miracle. Kim tells her to stop being so noisy and shut up. Then comes the grumble. Happy ending or not. Doesn't this mean that 10,000 gold was wasted for nothing? The old man is beside himself. A dual partner? Of course, it would be a pleasure. He'd be elated to do so any time. Then he beams. Please call me Grandpa Marcus. Kim can only manage a pardon? Grandpa Marcus is already off to the races. How old are you, young man? Can't be older than 30, right? He has a very kind granddaughter in the outside world, and if she ever enters the tower, he promises to sell her on Kim's charms. Kim insists he's really okay. The old man narrows his eyes. Are you implying you're not interested in my granddaughter? Kim apologizes. He's just not interested in seeing anyone at all. Nonsense. The spring of love cannot be absent from youth. When you're in love, you can see what you couldn't before, such as your own depravity. And then he launches into a story from a year he turned 16. What did I say? Kim's companion cuts in. I told you he was a boomer geezer. A boomer is someone who won't listen to others. Put nicely, the man has a spine, such a spine he might ascend to godhood with it. Kim is seriously wondering if he should just kill himself and start today over when the system chimes in. Welcome, Hanta Kim gong-ja. You ranked first while clearing floor 11. The floor clear reward starts rolling in, and since he ranked first, he's rewarded first, while Grandpa Marcus rambles on about knowing a highly skilled tailor. Kim wonders what the reward will be. Then the message appears. Please pick from the following 2 rewards. The Goddess of Protection offers positions of power. Become the Empire's Chancellor, its great general, even the head knight, with the abilities and status to match. But choose the Demon King's reward, and the goddess's is forfeit. Because the theme from floor 11 to floor 20 is role-playing. And the top contributors of the previous stage get the exclusive right to select the special positions before anyone else. But what, Kim wonders, is this Demon King's reward? The Demon King asks for his cooperation and secrecy, promising the exact same reward as the goddess, plus 1 additional gift. But only 1 person out of the top 10 may receive it. And Kim goes very, very still. If he kills everyone here, he can make his way to floor 99 in one go. The prompt just blinks back at him. Please pick from the following 2 rewards. The system flashes its offer. Select from the following 2 rewards. And Kim's gut answer is instant. It's a trap. The Sword Emperor in his head agrees completely. It's most definitely a trap. Zombie, don't fall for it. Kim says he knows. Of course it is. Because there's no way the flame bastard wouldn't have chosen the Demon King's reward. And yet that guy was still hanging out on the 40th floor, not the 99th. Which means the Demon King's reward has to be a trap. Kim's guess? The flame bastard first decided to side with the Demon King, then regressed the moment he realized it was a trap. Still, he has to be honest, it does look tempting. Maybe it wouldn't be a terrible idea to die to the boss of the 99th floor just once. And the Sword Emperor snaps at him by name. Gong-ja, don't do it. I climbed to the 99th floor alone, and I failed, he says. Look at me. I'm the Sword Emperor. And I'm telling you this is a trap. A revolutionary, horrid one at that. With Kim's current skills, he can't kill the top 10 rankers, and even if he somehow could, he'd never beat the 99th floor. So Kim asks the obvious question. Is the boss of the 99th floor really that strong? The answer is chilling. There isn't one. There's no boss monster on the 99th floor. Instead, there's something much more vicious, and the Sword Emperor can't even finish the sentence. Anyways, it's a trap. He warns, don't say I didn't warn you. Kim admits he's never seen the old man act like this. It's actually scaring him. Just what is it? No real answer comes. Just this, I hate to admit it, but you're doing well. Keep doing what you've been doing, and you'll clear the 99th floor automatically. So Kim makes the call. All right, we're throwing this run. He'll only take the safest routes and ignore the rewards entirely, just watching how things play out. Even the Goddess of Protection's reward, the Sword Emperor asks, why go that far? It's fine, Kim says. Just think of it as losing the battle to win the war. Then the moment arrives. The rewards for the 11th floor appear right in front of him. Once he chooses, the queue moves on to the next person. The others are relieved. They were getting tired of waiting. Kim tells them he's already decided. He decided not to choose one. What? The system confirms it coldly. No stage reward selected. And the reactions roll in. The Goddess of Protection is questioning his decision, while the Demon King of Autumn Rain laughs menacingly. Kim Gong-ja, what did you just do? Someone stammers. Kim just hums. The rank 2 steps up next, and claims he sees it now. He understands. Kim has simply selected the safest choice. But was it really necessary to give up a reward altogether? Perhaps it's just a foolish old man's concern, he says, but being overly cautious can also lead to defeat. Kim is grateful, but he has no regrets. A relief, but a decision hard to follow, the man admits, then takes the Goddess of Protection's reward and picks his role, the Grandmaster of the Empire. Instantly, phantom soldiers pledge allegiance to the mightiest swordsman of the Empire. The pieces click for the others. It's just like the Mafia game. Kim has no idea what they're talking about, so one of them happily volunteers to explain. For convenience, those who chose the goddess are the knights, and those who chose the Demon King are the traitors. But there's one big difference from Mafia. The traitor is at a massive disadvantage. There are 9 knights on this side, and as long as everyone trusts him, they can find out exactly who the traitor is. As you can see, this game is heavily skewed in favor of the knights, he declares. Hunter Kim Gong-ja, your decision to give up the rewards seems to have been unnecessary. The picks keep rolling. One ranker claims the captain of the guards. Another takes the director of foreign affairs for looking the most ordinary, and the chancellor goes next, everyone trusting nobody here would side with the Demon King. And then the system speaks. Rewards distribution has ended. You sure this is okay? The Sword Emperor presses. Throwing the run is one thing, but isn't this too much? Nope, Kim says he's sure this is the answer. Knowing when to hunt the prey, and when to surrender the hunt and back off. The tally comes in. Goddess's reward received, 8 people. Demon King's reward received, 1 person. A furious shout rips through the group. You fools, I told you not to choose the Demon King's reward. Others are almost impressed. What a surprise, to choose the Demon King's reward when the odds are stacked so brutally against you. One ranker curses under his breath. This tension is just like when they cleared the first parts of the tower, back when the 5 great guilds were still 10. Chills down the spine. There'll be heads rolling today. Then the order goes out. Crusader, question everyone here with lie detector. Don't miss a single person. And as the hunt for the traitor begins, the system offers one last taunt. May luck be with you all. The leader of the Black Dragons makes it official. He doesn't know who dared to betray them, but he promises to bring the traitor the most painful death imaginable. He orders the Crusader to use lie detector and question everyone on the spot. If even a single person tries to dodge the question, he'll kill them immediately. The Crusader starts with Kim. He forfeited the rewards, so by default he isn't even a suspect, but she asks anyway. Did you select the Demon King's reward? His answer is one word. No. Next, the Sword Saint. He swears on his honor that he certainly did not take it. The rest scramble to deny it too. It wasn't me. One shouts, I don't want to die to the witch just yet. And then the verdict drops. They're all speaking the truth. Every single one of them. The realization hits the room like a hammer. If it wasn't any of the 10 of them, then wait. Then who the hell is the traitor? Above it all, the system messages twist the knife. The goddess of protection laments their foolishness, and the demon king of autumn rain laughs cheerfully. Theories start flying. The traitor may have an ability that conceals lies. Or, as ridiculous as it sounds, one of them could have multiple personalities. It's not impossible. Or, someone snaps back, it could just be that you're the dirty traitor. Are you suspecting us right now? The other side fires back. But the logic cuts deep. Even if the Crusader isn't lying, she could have lied for the 5 great guilds. And the accused just agrees. Sure, logically it's a perfectly possible theory. He could indeed be the traitor. But what matters, he insists, is not losing their cool. They've overcome countless obstacles so far. If they can just trust each other this time, too, that earns them a laugh. Trust is a beautiful word, but it took 10 years for the 5 great guilds to learn to work together, and he finds it difficult to trust anyone outside of them. Not everyone has the patience to spend the next decade building trust. Someone protests that this isn't the time to prioritize efficiency. Heretic questioner, please wait, too late. The heretic questioner is already moving, ordering Viper to take care of the rank 10. The others scream at him that he can't do this. The system announces it coldly. A warrior has died, and he was not the Demon King's subject. You disgusting bastards, someone roars. You've finally shown your true colors. When the dust settles, the truth is worse than the crime. It wasn't any of those 3. The killer just shrugs that the situation has gotten complicated. He was certain it would be one of them, which means the culprit is still among them, and 10 years of trust is about to crumble. He calmly explains that those 3 simply had the highest probability of being the traitor. He was wrong, sure, but on the bright side, the media will never hear about it. The others are done tolerating the cultist, and the retaliation lands. Without both of his hands, the heretic questioner can't perform his holy techniques. He cheerfully apologizes to everyone. It seems he won't be much help alone anymore. In the chaos, a desperate voice throws everything at Kim. Kim gong-ja, I'm leaving everything to you. Only the man who took no reward can be guaranteed innocent. The others actually agree. Majority rule is inefficient in a mess like this. Authority should go to the one person who is certainly not the traitor. Kim can only marvel at his life. Is he fated to be liked by psychopaths or something? He's just been handed full authority over guild masters. Congrats on the promotion, his companion deadpants. He admits he saw this coming. The tension between rankers meant a fight was inevitable if a traitor appeared, so he gave up the reward. But he never thought it would get this bad. 3 people died for nothing, and he figures he'll have to regress at some point. Someone fills in the heretic questioner's history. When they first entered the tower, religious conflict was a serious problem. Constant fighting between sections. That's when he showed up and killed them all. Now the handless fanatic makes Kim an offer while a guild master is being beaten to death behind them. He admits his lapse in judgment, and in exchange for full authority, asks Kim to stop the Sword Saint. So Kim steps between them and shouts the most reasonable thing anyone has said all day. Please stop fighting. Let's talk it out. And when words fail, he pulls out the nuclear option. He will ask out the Sword Saint's granddaughter. He'll go on a date with her if she ever comes to the tower, he promises. Do him this one favor. He just might become the old man's grandson-in-law. The Sword Saint relents, but not out of forgiveness. Trading blows taught him he can kill these bastards whenever he wants. So it won't be too late to rip them apart after the traitor is caught. With the room finally calm, Kim takes charge. They don't know who the traitor is. They may never find them. But that comes second, because they can get past this without finding the traitor at all. The very fact that someone selected the Demon King's reward means the traitor is after their heads. And the quest itself spells out the answer. Unite your strength, young hero, and destroy the Demon King's core, located on the 20th floor. So Kim lays out the plan. Hunting the traitor is a trap. That traitor could be terrified and shaking inside right now. Let's all kill the Demon King first. If the Demon King dies, the reward disappears with him. It's a simple problem. No matter how the tower tries to test them, the solution will always be simple. Let's climb the tower, he declares, and the 12th floor quest begins. A system message flashes across the sky. The Floor 12 quest has officially been given, and the NPCs immediately lose it. The reign of the nightmare is falling again, they wail. We're doomed. It's the Demon King. The hunters have no idea what's happening. What's up with them all of a sudden? One shouts, while the locals cry out for their goddess and ask where their lord is. Is this all just part of the act? Someone wonders. No, the quest has finally started. And then the enemy speaks. Did you think you foolish plebeians could call over people from another world to use as your shields? He sneers. Call as many as you want, he says. Bring forth thousands of heroes and even more knights. They are still only human. I pity your foolishness that knows no bounds, he declares. Just like you, they are beings that don't see humans as humans. And the words land like a slap across every hunter's face. Someone reads the quest details and goes pale. The Demon King is weakened? That's weakened? If that thing is running on low power, nobody wants to see it full strength. Panic spreads fast. Hence my statement. One hunter argues, this isn't the time for us to be fighting each other. Another snaps back. How is this fair? Is this quest even possible to clear? I get that it was a tutorial until floor 10. Someone complains, but isn't this too much of a jump in difficulty? A calmer voice cuts through. We can do this. The tower doesn't give quests that aren't clearable. We aren't just your average hunters here. Did you forget? Roles get handed out on the spot. You're the head royal bodyguard, so lead the royal bodyguards. This stage can't be cleared with the power of hunters alone. Rally the NPCs and lead them. Treat them like they're real people and lead them into battle. Even the Sword Saint gets pulled in line. You're the head knight. They remind him. How can we defend the nation if the head knight and head royal bodyguard are crossing sword with each other? Everyone got a role of command, so everyone fulfills it. Then Kim turns to the loudest man in the room. Great General. Yep, that's me. Since you said you'd give me all the authority, just shut up and listen to me, Kim tells him flat out. I especially hate hunters like you, and one day we'll settle that. But right now, we need the general. The big man just laughs. He started like this Kim, gong-ja, even more. No matter what, defend the castle walls, Kim orders. If the defenses are breached, this stage is over. The general swears he has never broken a promise since the day he was born. He'll defend it with his life. The machine starts moving. This is the order of the head knight. Department of Finance, assemble. Hunters scatter to their posts, grumbling about the rain. Is this acid rain? Meanwhile, someone's just admiring the scenery. Wow, this place looks nice. Then a voice calls out behind him. Kim gong-ja. Kim starts to use her title, and she waves it off. Call me the Black Dragon Master. She personally doesn't like the formal one. How did you suddenly get here? Kim asks. That's my skill, she says. Teleportation. Anywhere within her range of vision. And the voice in Kim's head immediately gets ideas. Hey zombie, you should die to her just once. Teleportation sounds like a sick skill. So why is she here instead of heading to the castle walls? It should be obvious, she says. I'm here to bring you with me. I witnessed it on floor 11, she explains. You have a sword the NPCs admire. She might not know why, but she knows it can raise their morale. And right now, the person the soldiers need isn't her. It's Kim. There's a catch, though. He has to verbally consent to teleport with her. That's the restriction on her skill. Kim Billings. Teleportation should be at least an S-rank skill. Is it really okay to tell me everything, including its restrictions? Isn't that supposed to be your hidden trump card? Her answer is simple. Didn't you say I'm this empire's chancellor? Is it strange for the chancellor to pull out her hidden trump card to defend her nation? Then she cuts the moment short. We don't have time. Just agree already. I consent to the Black Dragon Master's skill usage, Kim says. Oh, and one more restriction, she adds. He has to say the word himself. Teleport. Up on the walls, the NPCs are sobbing and praying for mercy, beings no different from real people. And Kim understands something important. Even if they are an illusion, their fear is not. Thank you for bringing me here, Kim says, ready to get to work. But she stops him. Wait, I can't just step back after only showing you my bad side, she says. I didn't become the guild master by doing nothing. Then she turns to the terrified army, and her voice thunders out. Soldiers of the Empire, stand forth. Are you thinking that walls made of stone will protect you? She roars. You are the true wall of the Empire. The soldiers look up through the rain. It's the Chancellor. The walls might crumble, and our homes might be destroyed, she calls out. But as long as you stand, our empire shall not fall. And the despair breaks. The goddess is protecting us. The soldiers cry. The army finds its spine again. Then the system chimes in with something ominous. The goddess of protection shows gratitude towards this decision, and she is using up all of her authority. A system message rings out. You are a true hero, but the reward comes with a price. The skill activates, reenacting the trauma of your killer. Kim is about to live through the Demon King's own memories. No one knew why, when, or how it appeared. But when it did, red rain fell from the sky. Wherever the rain fell, blood coated the ground. You poor things, a voice sneers. Despite being born as humans, you consume other humans. Every time a nation fell, the domain of humans shrank. Soldiers scream to retreat, to somewhere the rain does not fall. Every time an empire's territory disappeared, the history of humanity grew shorter. You comfort yourselves believing this is the fate of humanity, the voice asks. I say it is the intended fate of cattle, and still it rains. People whisper that this is the end of times. Where's the emperor? They cry. Please save us. Royal historians solemnly pick up their worn-out feather plumes, accepting their fate, to write the words, and thus humanity became extinct with their very own hands. The master of nightmares, king of all demonic creatures, be swallowed up by thy own evil. The final royal historians give the calamity its name, the Demon King. Then someone notices the sky. It stopped raining. The impossible has happened. The crowd erupts, cheering that the goddess is protecting the empire. Wrong. This was never an authority that great. The rain stopped only where the light of the holy sword reached, and the survivors hailing the goddess and the Egyptian Empire never knew the truth. And the reason there was not a single NPC in the royal chamber at the start, every dignitary had already abandoned the empire. While the people cry that the goddess has not abandoned them, Kim realizes that is probably why the tower picked this empire as its stage. Just like the abandoned children in the Floor 10 mansion. Back in the present, Kim rallies the room. Everyone stand up. The soldiers snap out of it, barking at each other not to act so shamefully in front of the chancellor. Kim catches the stares and shrugs. His country is full of communists, and he does not like communists, but they do give good speeches. His companion just stares. An attempt at humor, and a total flop. She gets down to business and asks Kim gong-ja what his plans are now. He confirms it. They need to protect the castle walls. Black Dragon Master has an S-rank skill, teleportation. They could jump straight to the enemy right now, but they would just get instantly surrounded by monsters. So Kim lays out the real objective. First, create a situation where he can be one-on-one against the Demon King. While the NPCs hold out, gather up the hunters so they do not get overrun. And if the Demon King brings in more monsters to break through the walls. Then teleport me in front of the Demon King, Kim says. He will play the role of special ops. Her response is immediate. Are you suicidal? But Kim is calm. I plan on winning, he says. My death does not signify defeat. He has an ace up his sleeve, so trust him. As you have said, every hunter has at least one secret, she concedes. I hope your sword is sharp enough to pierce the boss. Meanwhile, the Demon King watches the defense with disdain. This is too pathetic to even be called a final struggle. Of what use is light for those who will not reap the harvest of tomorrow? It taunts the goddess herself. Did you become pathetic yourself while taking care of these pathetic creatures? Then I shall show you my light as well. A system notification cuts through the chaos. A hero has died. That blast hit the royal chamber. The Sword Saint, the Heretic Inquisitor, and the Viper should be on their way with their troops, and the Paladin is out searching for the Emperor on Kim's orders. The only person who could have been there is the Countess, which means she was not the traitor after all. If the Countess really has fallen, then the tower's connection with the outside world? Kim shuts the thought down. For now, focus on what is in front of their eyes. Even the Demon King should not be able to attack like that nonstop. Kim asks Black Dragon Master to protect the destroyed castle walls with him. Then he notices the demon army changing formations. They are attempting to charge through. One word, teleportation. And Kim materializes at the front lines, where no allies protect his vanguard. He turns to his companion. Hey, zombie. 1 minute is fine. No, even 30 seconds will do. Hold out by yourself. To win this war, you need to become the hope of the people, Kim explains. It does not matter how long. To show them the scene of you holding back these monsters alone. One does not become a hero by surviving for 30 years. When everyone desperately needs 30 seconds, giving them those 30 seconds is what makes someone a hero. Kim promised to teach him swordsmanship until the 20th floor, right? It is a bit early, but time for his practicum. Swivel your back foot a little, plant your front foot firmly onto the ground. Now look forward. There are 2 goblins ahead. They have naturally bad eyesight. Their eyes are shut against the dust cloud, and that holy sword is so shiny it can take away their sight completely. In a fight, what matters is not an absolute 1 second, but a relative 1 second. Use your sword to blind them and steal away their second. And thus my 1 second became a bit faster than my own heart. And my sword became faster than my 1 second. Let's go, partner. It's time to become a hero. The battle is a blur of steel. A voice guides Kim through it. That's one. Now take care of the one to your left. He is killing one after another, cutting down the next enemy before the last one even drops dead. A symphony of the sword. And all of that. Only 1 second. The lessons are ringing in his head. Don't disconnect your sword swings. Connect your strikes. It's just like music. A low note is the setup for a high note. A sword's flow is a fight against time, the teaching goes. A novice can only dominate 1 second at best. They're done after a single swing. Someone with experience can dominate 5. A normal person simply lets time flow. But for a swordsman, that is taboo. Live every single second to its maximum. You're not done after you cut one down, find the next path. You're only truly living when you dedicate something to time. 10 seconds into the slaughter, a thought suddenly hits him. Why did the tower give an EX rank skill to a bastard like him? It didn't have to be some great saint. A somewhat normal person would have been fine. So why out of everyone did it go to that psychopath? To reign at the top, does he have to become like that asshole? Not a chance. As if. Kim makes his declaration right there in the carnage. He is going to clear floor 20 in place of the Flame Emperor. And floor 32. And floor 50. Even floor 100. I'll show you, he swears. The tower answers. His existence becomes better defined. Hunter Kim Gong-ja is leveling up, and his hunter rank climbs on the spot. May fortune be with you. The system hums. That entire rampage took 30 seconds. When the dust settles, an old knight approaches, genuinely impressed. That was fantastic, he says. My name is Marcus Calgary, young man. And Kim realizes something. This is the second time a rank 1 hunter has told him their name. Different names, different people. So he does what he could never have done back then. He answers, "My name is Kim gong-ja, sir." "Then let us fight together, young man," the knight says. A booming laugh crashes in. "Sorry for being late. I could have arrived sooner, but leading the troops turned out harder than I thought." "Thank you, Hunter Kim gong-ja," they tell him. "We will gladly accept the time you have bought us." The Empire's great general arrives with the troops and gives the order, "Slaughter the ones who dared bare their fangs at the Empire." Another ally introduces himself, Lao Fan. "You probably can't hear me," he says, "but you saved my life in the royal chamber back then. Did you think the Celestial Martial Clan leader wouldn't pay back his debt? Only look forward while you charge," Lao Fan tells him. "I'll watch your left." This is VIP treatment. He has never once let a person die while standing at his side. "Go, Rising Star. I'll protect you." When someone tries to call out to Kim, they're waved off. Don't bother him. He's enjoying his precious time right now. Then the enemy speaks. "You poor things. Did you think you owned the time you were given? Your goddess has grown weak. You no longer have a guardian." "Show me," comes the answer. "Hey, witch, put up the mirrors already." One word. Scatter. "Now's our chance," someone shouts. "I'll teleport us to the Demon King." "Get close to me." They yell for Kim to grab on. "If you don't come, we'll leave you behind." "To think I misunderstood such a kind young man," one of them marvels. But Kim knows the truth. These people won't remember anything that happened. "Hey, partner," his companion nudges him. "It's time to bring down the boss, you goof." Just because they won't remember doesn't mean things will disappear. Like how a person who died on floor 1 and a spirit who died on floor 99 both arrived here. "Let's go." Kim accepts it. When he returns, nothing will be solved. But he'll be a bit stronger, and he'll do things a bit better. They land before the Demon King himself. "How interesting," he muses. "Are you the goddess's heroes? I made you all aware of a traitor amongst yourselves," he says. "Yet you desperately hold onto your trust in each other, stitching that rug back together. Rags can never become a proper dress," he sneers, and then Kim moves, and someone screams at him not to do it. Kim's answer is quiet. "Let's meet again in the next life." The Demon King looks down at him. "Have you come to kill me, hero?" "No," Kim says. "He came here to die to him." "You have died." And in that instant, the condition for his skill is fulfilled by his death, randomly copying one of the Demon King's skills. It's time for round 2. While randomly copying one of the Demon King of the Autumn Rain skills, Kim has another thought. Why did the tower hand a power like that to someone like Yu Suha, and then give an opportunity like this to someone as worthless as him? His guide cuts in. She's checked all the copied skills and asks if he wants her to read them out. But the thought lingers. Perhaps the tower is disappointed in the attitude the hunters have been showing. After all, Flame Emperor Yusuha didn't clear floor 10. He smashed through it. Did the tower not think that was a shame? The skill readout begins. Echoes of a crying heart. Rank A-, a flame that burns, but the more it's used, the more it eats away at its user. Meanwhile, Kim files away a truth he's learned. Every floor has a hidden quest, and he's sure floor 12 won't be an exception. Next up, the Hunter Ghost skill. It summons the ones he's killed back as monsters. No memories, no old abilities, just goblins and orcs and zombies. The catch? One summon a week. 3 skills have caught his attention, and he makes his pick, declaring this one will be the best, at least until 420. His guide is not feeling it at all. She admits she still doesn't get it, but tells him to do whatever he wants, since he's clearly scheming something. He tells her to look forward to it. Then he turns to the Sword Emperor, the walking encyclopedia of the Sword Saint's daily routine. The old man has every hour planned from waking to sleeping, so Kim asks for his dinner schedule. He needs it for something. Sure, comes a reply. Selection complete. The skill copy's over. And in that moment, Kim ends up seeing the Demon King's trauma. A glimpse of a hungry ghost hell. That nightmare, he decides, is a story for another time. Back with the group, he announces he's leaving. Floor 11 is opening soon, and he has to get ready if he doesn't want to fall behind. Someone asks how he can prepare for a floor he knows nothing about. Kim thinks to himself, floor 11 is no problem. But floor 12, where the Demon King intervenes, is another story. They notice he doesn't look so hot. He says he's fine. He just got emotional realizing such amazing people are here with him now, and how much things have changed. Then he drops the bomb. He knows the situation on floor 11, and not only that, he knows floor 11's quest. He'll share everything, but there's a condition. One day he'll ask for a favor, and they have to hear it out. He can't say what the favor is yet, but he promises it won't endanger anyone's life or cost them money, and they're free to reject it once they hear it. To the group, that sounds like a great deal. One by one, they're all in. Kim smiles to himself. Step 1 complete. So he tells them, from floor 11 to floor 20, they'll be helping the Kejim Empire. The pieces click. Floors 1 through 10 were the tutorial. Starting floor 11, they'll be joining a large-scale battle. And with that intel, floor 11 just got a whole lot easier to clear. On his way out, Kim stops the paladin, the vice captain of the Vigilante Corps, and asks her to go and walk with him. There's something he wants to consult her about. Out in the streets, the city is still buzzing over who cleared floor 10. And then a voice in Kim's head, "Hey, zombie. He's following you." Kim wouldn't spot the tail even if he turned around. The old man's stealth skill is nearly flawless. Good, Kim thinks. He learned something from his last try. If he waits until floor 12 to iron things out with the Sword Saint, it'll be too late. The Sword Saint already has a rocky relationship with the guild masters. If he points his sword at Kim, he makes enemies of them automatically. And stack news of a traitor on top of that, it's a shortcut straight to destruction. The paladin asks where they're headed as the streets turn to slums. There's a store, Kim says, that he wants to introduce her to. Because this whole time, Kim has been baiting the Sword Saint. Using the information from the guardian spirit, he deliberately grabbed the old man's attention. And sure enough, the Sword Saint started tailing him the moment he was spotted. When Kim pitches the shop as one run by an unknown but seriously skilled pharmacist, the paladin asks point blank if that's the truth. Kim clocks it instantly. She's activated lie detection. Of course, he answers. Why would he lie? Every word rings true, and she apologizes. People often tell her she's too careful. She admits, and they keep going. At the shop, the pharmacist lights up. The store's closed for the day, but he's always welcome. He's her first regular, after all. Then she notices who's with him. The vice captain of the Vigilante Corps. She short-circuits on the spot. And honestly, Kim notes, that's the normal reaction for your average hunter. Is it a drug bust? She shrieks. Yes, she operates in a shady place, but she swears she's never made a single gram of harmful medicine and has always lived conscientiously. So please, no investigation. Kim takes back what he said about normal. The paladin goes quiet. Lie detection again, no doubt, and she's probably confused because every panicked word was the truth. Kim calms the pharmacist down and lays out the real plan. Give the vice captain some samples. If they're super effective, maybe she'll even sign a contract, and being a supplier for the Vigilante Corps would change everything. The pharmacist bursts into tears, calling him an angel. He saved her store from foreclosure, put in a large order, and now he's even building her connections. Then a new voice cuts through the room, asking everyone except that man to step out. This old man, he says, wishes to quietly have a talk with him. The bait worked. The Sword Saint has arrived. The Sword Saint stands in the shop, and Kim asks what business he could possibly have here. The old man just sneers that Kim seems hard of hearing despite being so young. But the guild leaders don't budge. Aren't you being quite aggressive? One of them fires back. You're saying you have private business with Hunter Kim Gong-ja? Then comes the shield. Hunter Gong-ja has officially joined the 5 great guilds, and any attack on him will be taken as a declaration of war. The Vigilante Corps won't stand by and watch either. The Corps leader goes further. He says he's already received multiple reports of the Sword Saint's human hunting, and until now, the Corps had no time to interfere with his personal justice. But if it happens right in front of his eyes, that's a different story. I will stop you, he declares, even if it costs me my life. The Sword Saint asks if he truly thinks he can stop him. No, the man admits, but he'll fight with everything he has, and he'll die doing it. And the moment he dies, the Sword Saint becomes nothing more than a scummy murderer who killed an innocent person. If he wants to spend what little life he has left as a killer, he's free to swing. This is the weakness Kim discovered in his last life. He turns to the paladin, the only one here who has never harmed another human being, and asks her to put her faith in him too. The Sword Saint is weak against innocent people. That's exactly why she's the only guild leader Kim brought along. To the Sword Saint's brutal moral code, the paladin's kill count of 0 makes her look like a true saint. And there's one more shield in the room. The trembling shopkeeper steps up. She doesn't know what's happening, but this customer is her savior, and she won't forgive anyone laying a hand on him, not even the Sword Saint. Kim sums up the whole strategy in one line. It's like type advantages in Pokemon. These good people could never beat the Sword Saint in a fight, but they're the only ones who can stop him. So Kim throws down the challenge. What will you do? If you really want to fall into the gutter, I'll gladly tussle. The old man turns away. Today just isn't the day. And Kim quietly celebrates. That's step 2 complete. Before the Sword Saint can leave, Kim shouts after him. He'll be waiting at the field north of the city tomorrow at noon. It's okay if he comes, and it's okay if he doesn't. Kim will be waiting there alone. If the old man wants to find out what kind of person he really is, all he has to do is show up. Once the danger passes, everyone exhales. One of the leaders admits his life flashed before his eyes. They ran into the killer demon before night had even fallen. So who is this killer demon? It's not widely known, but the 5 great guild leaders are aware. The Sword Saint lost his daughter and son-in-law to a heinous murderer. Since then, he shows murderers no mercy, and with no evidence against him, nobody could do a thing about it. Kim mentions that Gramps told him about it before. Only his grandchildren barely survived. When asked why he's only sharing that now, he shrugs. You never asked. The Corps leader admits it's not like he doesn't sympathize. Working in the Vigilance Corps, you meet criminals who make you wonder if such human beings should even be allowed to live. Preemptively killing someone who deserves to die. Even he's tempted by the thought sometimes. Every major guild leader carries their own story, he says. Kim's in the same boat now, and plenty of what he'll find is filthy rotten. He wonders how Kim will respond to it all. Then the heavy mood snaps like a twig. So, how much do potions here cost? The Vigilance Corps is always tight on budget, so it'll be a problem if they're too expensive. The next day arrives. Kim stands in the field, noting the atmosphere feels just like his last life. The Sword Saint came. Are you so utterly confident you can face me alone, he asks, though he supposes someone who has committed so much slaughter would be proud of their skills. His companion asks if he's okay. Zombie says he's okay. It's just that his heart ached a bit. Kim tells the old man he knows why the Sword Saint wants him dead. A guilty conscience needs no accuser, the saint replies, so you're aware of your own sins. But Kim goes for the throat. He knows it's because of the skill eyes of a detective. The Sword Saint freezes. How do you know that? Kim understands what he's really attempting here. The old man lived by his stubbornness until that stubbornness became his entire life. And now Kim has to convince him to deny the very life he's lived. It's a tall order, so Kim bets his life on it. Sword Saint in him, he announces, I am a prophet. The old man blinks. What? To be precise, Kim has a skill similar to prophesying. That's how he learned about eyes of a detective. And if he does nothing here, the saint will try to kill him while Kim dies asking why. That's when you'll tell me, Kim continues, that according to your skill, the number 4093 floats above my head. The old man goes dead silent. Then comes the test. Guess how many fingers I'm holding up with my left hand right now. It shouldn't be difficult for a prophet. Kim knew he'd be like this. Kim gets it wrong. He dies and rewinds 24 hours into the past. Round 2. This time Kim calls it before it happens. You're hiding your left hand behind your back, and next you'll ask me to guess the fingers, saying it shouldn't be hard for a real prophet. Kim begs him to trust that his skill is real. Killing him here would be a piece of cake, but without him, clearing floor 12 safely will be impossible. The old man falters. Stop. Wait a minute. Then he hardens again. This isn't enough. It could be an X-ray skill or mind reading. How dare Kim think one trick proves he's a prophet? Yep, Kim thinks he knew once wouldn't suffice. So he dies, and rewinds, and tries again. No, this is still not enough. The old man roars. Prove there hasn't been some other tomfoolery. Kim knew persuading someone would never be easy. Death after death, Kim keeps coming back with the same plea. Please believe me. But that's fine. Test me as many times as you want. Whether it takes a week or a fortnight, Kim knows he can wear him down. Because his death is longer than the old man's life. And he's not even asking to be spared forever or claiming he's innocent. Just 5 days. Don't kill him for 5 days. Follow him around and judge with his own eyes whether Kim is a bastard who deserves to die. The old man still doesn't believe him. So Kim decides it's time for the final blow. In the far future, Kim says the Sword Saint himself told him the one thing that would make his present self believe. A single name. Sword Emperor. That does it. Young man, did you say you wanted 5 days? The Sword Saint accepts. He will follow Kim for 5 days and closely observe his every movement, word, and behavior. After that, he will judge whether Kim deserves to die and whether he truly is a prophet. Will that suffice? Kim smiles. That'll be more than enough. He did it. He made a deal with the guild leaders. And for now at least, the Sword Saint will trust him. Every condition needed to prevent unnecessary casualties on floor 12 is in place. Well then, Sword Saint him. See you on the next floor. Chaos erupts the moment the floor begins. Arrows rain down, hunters scream to watch out, and Imperial soldiers hail the newcomers as the warriors who will save the Empire. The quest window lays it out. The Demon King has finally raised his armies, and the cunning fiend wants to cut off the supply lines first. So the mission is to protect the harbor. Kim notes it is exactly the same as last time. But this run has one huge difference. A voice booms across the battlefield. Black dragons, gather. From now on, the guild master declares, the Black Dragons will take command of this war. And she wastes no time. Chiomimun and the Vigilante Corps take the left wing, 2 more guilds take the right, and the Black Dragons themselves smash through the center. Anyone unhappy with her commands can complain after the battle. Guild leaders roar their squads forward. One shouts that if his boys die before him, he will kill them himself, while others scramble to back up the vanguard so nobody gets isolated. The discipline is brutal, but it works. Individual action means summary execution, she warns. Move thoroughly in teams. The Empire's soldiers watch the otherworldly warriors push the monsters back without hesitation, and their courage catches fire. Soldiers of the Empire, join them. All men, follow me. God still protects our empire, they cry. The whole battlefield surges forward. Kim, meanwhile, is deliberately keeping a low profile. His companion teases that it is not like him to avoid standing out. Will this not make the run less interesting than last time? He admits it, but hanging back is not a bad feeling either. Who? Boy, have you grown up? Comes a mocking voice. Kim asks what exactly he is doing over there. The answer is blunt. I am watching you. It is the Sword Saint, and he has not forgotten his warning. After 5 days of watching, he will decide whether to kill Kim. Kim nervously asks if he really plans to watch him around the clock. Of course I intend to, the old man says. There are monsters to catch and rewards tied to battle contribution, Kim points out. Don't worry, the Sword Saint replies. He will use the sword in his spare time. Kim can only groan at this old man. Then Kim walks straight up to the Black Dragon Guild Master mid-battle. She is busy directing the guilds and gives him 30 seconds. He cuts to the chase. He has a 10th floor clear reward. It is a mini-map, he explains. Enemies, allies, the whole battlefield at a glance. She demands to know if he is serious, then why he did not come to her at once. Tell me, she snaps. Where's the boss monster? He cannot see it directly through the wall of monsters, but on the map it is right over there. She immediately agrees to a skill link and tells him to come on. Kim stammers out his agreement to the Black Dragon skill, quietly noting that this person shows her true nature the moment she gets worked up. Change. Her skill fires. Where? She roars. Over there, Kim points, and they swap positions across the battlefield. Onlookers can barely process it. She is going to take the boss with a sword. It is more than enough to catch him. She fires back. Then go. One clean strike, and the boss drops. She turns to the stunned monster horde with a simple question. Do you want to be cut into 2 pieces too? The Demon King's army breaks and runs. Follow me and kill them. The hunters roar. Don't miss a single one. Good job, Kim gong-ja, she beams. The stage is clearing in under an hour, and fewer than 30 hunters have died, a number that should have been in the hundreds. Kim connects the dots. Last time, hunters died in droves at the start, and she stayed cold and expressionless. Now she is beaming, because so few were sacrificed. You are a surprisingly simple person, he tells her, sad or happy depending on how few victims there are. She tells him a person should be excited when they are happy, and she praises him again. Since humanity hit the tower, no floor has ever been cleared with as little sacrifice as today. I am proud of you, she says. Even though he could have monopolized the clear reward for himself, he shared it. Really, she says, I'm glad the new hero is someone like you. Her words hit somewhere deep. These are people who have lived hard, Kim thinks, people who can honestly say they gave everything they had. He wants to live a life recognized by people like this. And more than that, he wants to protect them. Not hollow fame, not the cynics. He wants to be purely acknowledged by those who fought the Demon King with everything they had. And as the thought settles, the system chimes in. Measuring attack contribution, measurement complete. The rankings drop. First place, Kim gong-ja. Second, the Black Witch. Third, the Heretic Inquisitor. Then the Sergeant, the Paladin, the Count. He wanted to change a little in this changed world. And here is the proof. The order is completely different from the previous run. And the tower announces that the top contributors enter the 12th floor first. But Kim runs the math and goes cold. Left alone, the 12th floor will demand far too much sacrifice. And if they lose the one person who can interact with the outside world, it will not be 50,000 dead. It could be 500,000. So he makes a decision. I'll carry them. The guild master is still riding the high, marveling that he cooperated with the Black Dragon like that, and asking if the boss locating minimap really was the last stage's reward. Kim asks her to wait a moment. He has something to tell her first, and he is done, because even the Sword Saint will not attack him for this. Remember what I told you yesterday, he says. She promised that if he ever asked a favor, she would listen. Please listen to that request now, he says. The next 5 days, please stay right here and do nothing at all. Because in those 5 days, he will clear everything up to the 20th floor himself. The tower's voice rings out over the warriors who choose to climb. From the 11th to the 20th floor, you will be tested. And with that, floor 11 breaks open. Kim turns to the assembled hunters with a question. Remember what I told you all yesterday, he asks. The tower promised they would all find an answer, one that reminds them of who they really are. And Kim asked them to listen to one favor when the time came. That time, he says, is right now. This, he tells them, is the answer he found. The favor sounds simple and completely insane. Everyone stays right here and does nothing for exactly 5 days. If they could do that, he promises to clear all the way up to floor 20 in those 5 days. The room short circuits. Wait, for 5 days? Did I mishear that? Someone demands, telling him to take it back if it's a joke because it wasn't funny. Kim doesn't blink. You heard me right, he says, and it wasn't a joke. That's impossible, they fire back. They remind him it took years just to clear floor 10. Sure, they just cleared floor 11 in under an hour, but isn't he getting too big for his britches? Kim stays calm. Yes, he cleared floor 10 for himself. But he still shared every reward and benefit he received from it, which means he has earned the right to ask them for a favor. Please wait 5 days, he asks, regardless of whether or not he manages to clear floor 20. And right on cue, the system chimes in. Welcome, Hanta Kim gong-ja. You ranked first while clearing floor 11. Then the reward screens hit, and the top hunters freeze. The goddess of protection proposes a reward. And so does the Demon King of the Autumn Rain. Kim just smirks at that second offer. Have you gotten desperate because we aren't fighting, Demon King? The system logs the Demon King's growing panic. He does not comprehend Kim's intentions. Meanwhile, one of the guild leaders declares the problem quite simple. Hunter Kim shared the information on how to clear floor 11 with everyone. He reasons. In return, they agreed to hear out his favor, as long as it wasn't something impossible. 5 days of standby is not an impossible favor, he booms. Thus, he approves it. One by one, the rest fall in line. You suggested this because you have a plan, so I'll play along, one says. Another agrees, even without getting it. A third promises 5 days of silence. Then one voice cuts through the room. I have never agreed to such a promise. The old swordsman made exactly one promise, he says. To watch over this young man for the next 5 days. He has no reason to listen to any other requests. If Kim is departing to clear floor 20, he will follow, as promised. Kim takes in stride. He plans on defeating the Demon King by himself, but having the Sword Saint behind him won't hurt. No reason to turn him down. So Kim thanks everyone for listening to his favor. See you in 5 days, he says. And he's off. On the way, something is immediately off. All the NPCs are frozen up. It's because the quest hasn't started yet. Kim explains. He still hasn't selected a position. Right now, the Empire has no Chancellor and no Head Knight. Normally, the quest from floor 12 to 20 is the hunters filling in those exact jobs. Which means if they never select their professions, the quest will never start. No professions, no war. The demon army's invasion will not occur, and the Empire's army will never fight them. So here's the thing, Mr. Sword Emperor, Kim says, while the Demon King's system messages frantically pressure him to pick a reward. Hypothetically, what does he think happens if the Demon King dies while in this state? The old man can only manage a what? Kim spells it out. What happens if he wrecks the boss monster before the quest even starts? It's quite simple, he says. No one would be able to pick the Demon King's reward, so they shouldn't end up with any traitors either. The system starts screaming. The Demon King of the Autumn Rain is furious. The Demon King of the Autumn Rain manifests. The demon snarls at him to take the correct steps, calling it insolence to come here without making a decision. Kim scoffs. What nonsense is he blabbering about? He definitely made a decision. He kills the Demon King before the quest even starts. Then not a single hunter or citizen of the Empire has to die, and nobody can end up a traitor. Since he was a kid, Kim says he never liked bad endings. Maybe he's just that kind of guy. He always prefers a happy ending, if possible. So he's sorry, but the Demon King is going to have to die, because there's no happy ending while he keeps interfering. The demon can barely choke out without dare. Stop him alone, without even the Empire's help? Kim's answer is instant. He doesn't need any help. In a frozen world, he takes up his sword as a clock's hand. Because heroes are supposed to fight alone. It was a rainy day when that thing opened its eyes. A strange, quiet memory begins. Rain poured down on the small creature, croaking alone in the storm. And in that rain, that thing wanted one simple thing. It wanted to live a bit more. Back in the present, the message flashes again. You have died, but a voice coaches him through it. Hey zombie, it says, that bastard swordsmanship is nothing amazing. He's just swinging his sword around with great force. Which means one thing. Kim can dodge it, as long as he knows the trajectory. Kim understands exactly what this is now. This is a time prison. So he dies again and again, and he starts doing the math. If he had progressed through the quest normally, how many soldiers would have died on that tumultuous battlefield? For every soldier that falls, at least 20 years of unlived life disappears. When 10 die, that's 200 years. When 100 die, 2,000 years gone. So to rescue all of that time, Kim made his choice. He chose no position at all, because he has the one cheat nobody else has. You will return 24 hours back to the past. And to fulfill that mission, he has to be prepared for the worst. Prepared to be locked into eternity. The Demon King taunts him. Even if you know the trajectory, do you have what it takes to dodge it, you little weakling? Kim just snaps back at him to stop being so damn noisy. Then Kim starts taking the correct steps, like a true hero of the goddess. The Demon King seethes. How dare thee? Kim lays out the oldest rule in the book. A hero slays the Demon King, and the Demon King slays the hero. That's the whole game. So come at me, Demon King, he declares. I am the sword of the Empire. So be it, the Demon King roars. If what thou says is the truth, prove it. Inside the frozen loop, Kim's narration turns quiet. My sword was the only clock hand. To give this world one more second, I had to swing my sword one more time. For the seas to overflow and touch the heavens, it must start with a drop. And for me to live in eternity, I must live 1 second at a time. Then the loops start paying off. I live my life my way, Kim thinks. As a voice cheers, well done, Kim gong-ja. We cleared a floor in less than an hour. Run after run, the numbers shrink. Less than 40 hunters died, then less than 20, until someone whispers in disbelief that there's probably less than 10 hunters dead. Such a thing was possible on a battlefield like this? The Demon King asks, why art thou smiling? Kim's answer is simple. Because I'm happy. How can happiness exist for a creature fated to die soon? The Demon King demands. You won't understand, Kim says. No one will. But Kim never gave up, because he had no reason to. His sword was faster today than it was yesterday. And it will become even faster tomorrow. Then a voice cuts in. I just checked Kim gong-ja. Not a single. Why does he keep swinging? Because I am alive. And then the words land. Not a single person died. They asked everyone, a few idiots out injured, sure, but 0 deaths. Not a single person died. Thank you, they tell him. Thank you so much. And Kim feels something shift inside him. My desire to live grew a little. The Demon King rages that Kim tried to stop him all alone. Kim shrugs. I already told you. Heroes are supposed to fight alone. Fool, the Demon King bellows. Then an apology rings out. I'm sorry, Kim gong-ja. I wanted to stay in the royal chambers like you asked, but I was feeling too antsy. So I followed you to see what you were up to by yourself. Aren't you playing a fun game? The newcomer teases. I'm playing hero, Kim admits. It honestly feels epic. I can see that, comes the reply, especially since you're facing a beast truly worth hunting. But I can't let you have all the fun by yourself, so I'm joining you. Kim scoffs. Wow. I did all the work and you're just gonna steal me? Sorry, bruh, Kim tells the Demon King. I wanted to face you alone, but now that I think about it, it's tradition for heroes to gang up on the bad guy. You understand, right? It's tradition. The Demon King has had enough of petty tricks. No longer shall I fight you with a sword. He begins to chant. Honored ghosts, he might call. This is not something they can handle by themselves. Someone screams at the sword saint. What are you doing just standing there? Why aren't you helping? The old man shrugs that he wanted to spectate longer, since it hasn't even been 30 seconds since this young man and that sewage started fighting. Whatever, the sword saint says. Both of you grab my hands. We need to get out of here. But Kim doesn't move. No, he says. That's fine, because his eyes are locked on the Demon King's own technique. 100 Ghost Summoning. What? The Demon King breathes as the system hums to life. Activating skill. The man who copies power by dying to it just stared down 100 ghosts and decided to make them his.